We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
The tape.
UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach and the bench deep. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunker down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Found guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. They know we ain't gonna play, boy, it's UGA. Kirby Smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. The tape.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play. We ain't gonna play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The
Shut up
tape.
and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You like that? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Monday evening here on the channel. As always, we got an absolute loaded show for you guys tonight. I'm going to get the boys' thoughts from another absolutely insane weekend of college football. One of the hosts on this here stage today was there firsthand for that debacle in Clemson, South Carolina. So we'll get those experiences today. We've also got previews on what is absolutely set up to be an insane slate of college football this weekend, very akin to week 1 vibes. I'm talking about massive playoff implications this weekend, whether you're in, whether you're out, whether you're a real contender, whether you're one of them pretenders. We might find out this weekend about you guys. But I want to start tonight's show down in Gainesville. Boys, my question to you guys and my question to the chat today: what exactly are they waiting for down there in Gainesville, Florida? Do we not already know that this guy is fired? Do we not already know that Billy Napier's time at the University of Florida has probably convinced or, ran its course? I think our only saving grace down there, our only hopeful adage, our only reason for maybe sticking around with this guy was, hey, they got this really talented quarterback that hopefully maybe he's talented enough that we might need to keep this guy around. And that looks like it's ran its course. It looks like there's not going to be any fixables right now with the quarterback, at least this season for this guy. So the question I'm asking guys is, what exactly are they waiting for down there in Gainesville with regards to firing this football coach?
Because I think if that AD, correct me if I'm wrong,
Scott Strickland, that's the one who seemed to be dragging his feet, because I think he is maybe attached to this hire.
If you fire Billy Napier after week 4, you've basically accepted defeat on your season. You've accepted the embarrassment. Whereas, hey, we kind of know where this is heading anyways. Let's hope that maybe and pray that we maybe, catch a Georgia or catch a Texas sleeping and everything gets the momentum building again. Because if you fire him now, you've basically accepted that your hiring was a failure. And you might, in turn, also be getting fired.
Sounds like there's just a bunch of ego going on down there, in my opinion, if that's the case, because as an athletic director, I feel like you would rather try and save face because, like, at this point, the entire fan base knows it's going to happen and they're ready for it to happen. So don't you think that it would be better for your program right now to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, go ahead and enter the hiring process and get some energy going back into this program of like, oh, like we're first on the market almost, like pretty much, despite the fact that Virginia Tech and UCLA are on the market. Like, we're first on the market. We're going to be the biggest name. Like, that would be better for this program to be sitting at right now in the bye week as opposed to, well, let's just see how bad we lose to Texas.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I thought the timing was right for this week to be the week that Billy obviously kind of got the showing of the door. Obviously, this is Strickland's second head coaching hire. He hired Dan Mullen, and then going through it with Billy Napier, you can understand why he doesn't want to fire another football coach. But I don't want to speak for the Florida Gator fan base, but I feel like he's got some saving grace with the basketball program. He's got some saving grace with the baseball program. Like,
they were not good last year.
They were not good last year, but they're normally up there.
Normally, right? Yeah. Normally, yes.
So I don't know. Maybe football is what you just hang your hat on with as an AD. Like, you're either good enough in the SEC or you're not, and they can fire you for that if you don't get this thing right multiple times over. But you mentioned other reasons why, right? We got the selective injuries, selective surgeries going on already. I don't know if you noticed this. I don't want to speak for players. I stepped my foot into it on social media with that earlier, with regards to this job. I don't want to speak for other players, but when I start seeing, we got some meniscus surgeries going on, we got some my foot's in a boots going on, we got some I'm gonna go ahead and get this surgery going on, that's normally the sign of I've tapped out on this football season. So I wonder when the athletic administration is ultimately going to tap out on him. Obviously, it's the bye week. I thought that was a good opportunity to do so. Tinfoil hat theory. They're not firing Billy Napier because the supposed interim football coach that they had in line for this guy is suspended for 3 weeks for slapping a player.
Oh, that's not a bad feeling.
I don't even know if you'd have to classify that as tinfoil hat theory. I think there's some legitimate backing to that thought process. Like, that's not even too far out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably honestly spot on at this point. And I think it's also when you get to a point where you know that a coach is cooked so much, you kind of save him some face and let him ride out. Like, everyone knows Florida's going to be in the coaching market this offseason. Everyone knows that the majority of those players that are on that roster are going to be accepting phone calls, probably already are, even though that's not allowed. I think at this point, like, let Billy just go out on his shield because everyone knows that at the end of the season he's not going to be the coach there.
Here's my thing, though, Kirby. Okay, Florida fans think they're getting Marcus Freeman, Lane Kiffin, and getting Urban Meyer to get out of retirement. But we all know it's probably going to be a combination of a bunch of different guys up for this job. Kirk Cinetti at Indiana has entered this conversation. Yeah. Golish down there at USF is in this conversation. Sumrall out there at Tulane. I would imagine PJ Fleck's going to interview for this job. I would imagine Jed Fish is going to interview for that job. Now, I don't really know how Florida fans feel about any of those names that I think are reasonable candidates for this job when it ultimately comes open. But assuming that is the selection of candidates, guys, don't you think it would behoove Florida's future interest to have as long as humanly possible to sift through those candidates? Definitely. You know what I mean? That's why I think it's just better off you go ahead and bite your ties and take your lumps and go ahead and open yourself up for this search and research process that it's going to take. You need as much possible time to filter through those names that are realistic candidates for this football program as humanly possible to make sure and reassure yourself, Scott Strickland, that you don't make another bad decision with regards to the head coach of your program.
And Virginia Tech is doing that right now. Like, it got announced today that Bruce Arians is helping out with the hiring process. He's going to help filter it out and let them know his thoughts on that as well. So Virginia Tech is already getting ahead of this, and it feels like, not that Florida would fall behind Virginia Tech in this, but
I'm not guaranteeing that means Virginia Tech's going to make the right decision with regards to their head coach, but they are maximizing the chances that they do. And I think Florida should probably do that. That's all we wanted to open up today with. And I think we all agree. All we're doing is dragging our feet for the sake of pride. That's all we're doing. And to not look silly, that being Scott Strickland. And we can't be risking the future of our program because we don't want to look bad. No, we can't be doing that. So thought that was worth talking about. Speaking of worth talking about, boys, we found out the SEC's permanent, 3-game schedule. So do we want to put that up on the board for the audience right there, or at least on the screen for the audience there, so we can talk about this as a collective today? What were your initial thoughts when you saw this today, Kirby?
For the most part, it's a pretty manageable schedule.
I should say up front, my bad. I should say up front, this is per reporting of Chris Lowe of On3. Does great work over there now.
Yeah, but no, for the most part, it's a pretty manageable schedule for most teams. There's a couple in there where it's like, you're
stuck on 2, by the way.
Yeah, I know, because if I go to 4, my face is covered.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So I might as well just keep it in.
No, we'll take it off. I gave him a good glance at it.
But no, that was my takeaway from it. Was there's not a team that got explicitly screwed out of this. I feel like Arkansas probably got the shaft a little bit. Yeah, you see it now.
I'm seeing it now. And honestly, not a downgrade. Might be an improvement.
Jesus, dude, that hurts.
Buddy, at one point, I left this place on a football pilgrimage, and you told the world that I had body odor.
We were paid to do so.
We were paid to do
sponsorship.
So. But God forbid I say there's an improvement by covering your face.
Hey. It's all good, man. It's all good. But no, I wasn't blown. I feel like Georgia, if you're Georgia or Tennessee, you should feel pretty happy about the schedule you got. Very manageable, especially given where those programs are at right now. Like Auburn's not an up program. Yeah, Tennessee's got some opponents there, but Vanderbilt is on the up and up. But other than that, it's not a tough slate for those two teams.
Yeah, Tennessee by far, in my opinion, got the easiest break out of all of this. And I know this is not me trashing on the way that they went about this, by the way, because there's legitimate reasoning behind Kentucky and Vanderbilt being permanent opponents for Tennessee. I know that there's a lot of history. There's an in-state rivalry there. And I think that someone made a good point, too, of it seems like they did this by geography, too, like based on how you're going to have to travel to these programs as well, like your permanent opponents close by to where you're going to have to play these teams, depending on where you are. So I understand that one. But the only thing that I hate about this, and I knew it was going to happen, it's just unfortunate that this is the cost of moving to a 9-game conference schedule, is that you do lose Florida versus LSU. You do lose Alabama versus LSU. You do lose Georgia versus Tennessee. Like, you lose some of these marquee matchups that you're used to seeing on the schedule every single year. And maybe Tennessee fans aren't too sad, of course, about losing Georgia on their schedule. But
honest to God, I just realized you just brought up a great point. The biggest winner today is LSU. LSU watched an annual matchup against Florida and Bama walk off their schedule for a replacement of Arkansas, Ole Miss, and A&M. Yeah, I would take that.
Yeah,
I would take that if I were if I was that football program. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing to stumble upon just now. Yeah. I'm with y'all though. I don't think anybody got a quote unquote shaft. I think Tennessee did get a fair break there though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't really say anybody did, other than like maybe you want to. And this is like, you can say Arkansas did because they have Texas and LSU and Missouri.
But that's because Arkansas is Arkansas.
And that's exactly what I was about to say. That's because you're looking at that from where Arkansas is right now, from that perspective. When in reality, that's also no different than a lot of these matchups.
You know what I realized today when this came out and people started having their reactions about it? I think people think this Vandy thing's here to stick, and I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's a very veteran roster with a quarterback that they push chips in on.
Yeah.
And that's also, I think Clark Lee's great, but I don't know if that is a program we can consistently win 9 games at. I think we need to pump the brakes on that one.
And like Vanderbilt, as great as Vanderbilt is right now, we haven't seen that change in the recruiting trail. Like Vanderbilt isn't all of a sudden recruiting inside of the top 10 of this conference. They're still recruiting like Vanderbilt usually does in this conference.
No, absolutely. And look, the
like a really, really good ACC team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Vandy recruits like a great ACC program.
Good way to put it.
Are we good on that one?
Yeah,
I think we got a lot to talk about today, guys. I didn't want to burn too much talk on schedule talk. That's an off-season topic from us. So let's get back after the show notes here. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, and rate, review. And if you are new to the network here today, welcome in. All right, welcome into our first live show with you guys today. I hope you enjoy it. Enough about the scheduling talk. Boys, I want your thoughts on the weekend. First and foremost, with that Miami and Florida football game, what were your thoughts on that one?
Look, I mean, Carson Beck had probably his worst performance as a Miami Hurricane in this, and I didn't think it was all that bad. There was a lot of people going, oh, this is the Beck guy I remember from Georgia, and it didn't seem like that to me. There were a couple mistakes that he made, but...
We watched him for a long time here. That reminded me, he has one of these a year where it's like he can't seem to spray it correctly. He's kind of spraying it all over the place. And I said on Sunday's show, when you're an anticipatory thrower, when you're a tight window thrower, when you're a from the pocket thrower, if we're off today, it's going to look like we're putting the ball at risk often, and it's going to make our coordinator cautious and squat on it.
Right.
We saw this. I thought we saw this 2023 SEC championship game against Alabama. I thought, ironically, we saw it as a Georgia beat reporter and Georgia team watching it against Florida last year, where it's just like, bro, what's going on with him today? It was bad enough Saturday night where people thought he was hurt. People were going to the Twitter accounts thinking that it just didn't look right today.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens like that with him, and it's inexplicable.
I think that this game, more than anything, was kind of a reality check for me and my thoughts on Miami. I think Miami is still one of the best programs in the country right now, but I think we also saw what can happen to that offense when you face a good defense, and I think Florida has a good defense despite everything that's happening with that program. I think that we've seen, and that's with them being down multiple starters. I thought they held their own really well to the point where Florida's defense almost had Florida take a lead in this football game. And so, like, you look at the final score, and if you didn't watch that game, you see the final score was 28-7 or whatever it was, and you're like, oh, well, Miami beat the crap out of them. It wasn't that, in my opinion. I think this was a close football game. They got gifted some good field position there late in the football game because Florida turned it over on downs and whatnot because they're having to push the ball down the field. And so I think this was a close football game, and I think you kind of saw what could potentially happen in Miami if they do match up against one of these defenses down the road, like maybe what potentially Florida State could do to them in the future. So I think that it kind of cleared the path, or like cleared the lenses a little bit on this Miami team of, like, at first it's these guys are world beaters, they're beating everybody, they're beating the crap out of everybody, and it's like, well, now we kind of have a better idea of where we can gauge Miami a little bit.
This game very much reminded me of what Miami did all of last year. Was kind of, hey, we're going to sleepwalk through 2.5, maybe 3 quarters, but the box score and the final score of this will look like, oh, Miami handled this team. Miami handled, who was it, Duke last year, and other teams like California last year, where it was like, hey, there are a lot of flaws and a lot of cracks that got exposed. Now, credit to them for finding ways to pull it out in the fourth quarter, but
hey, credit to Ron Roberts. Got this defense from Florida playing their backside off with no help from offense. Y'all know how I feel about Austin Armstrong, right? Y'all know I think he's a damn good football coach and got a bad shake down there at Florida. Guess where he's at?
Houston.
Guess what they're doing?
What?
They're top 10 in defense right now. They're holding opponents to 9.7 points per game. Austin Armstrong going to be a SEC defensive coordinator again at some point. I hope he doesn't get walked to the plank by a head football coach. Yeah, because I think he's young. I think he's great, and I think he, got a real bad shake down there. And what do I know? So we'll see about that.
Yeah, I would still say, like, biggest takeaway from this game is I would still have Miami as the front runner in the ACC to win this conference and be in the college football playoff, but I think it just kind of cleared all the thoughts up on them a little bit of like, okay, this team isn't as invincible as they looked the first 3 weeks.
No, they are not.
Y'all good on that one? Y'all have any more thoughts?
No.
How about Ruben Bain? Neither one of
good football player.
Oh, terrifying.
Really good football player.
What's your comp for him? I was baffled by this. You know who I finally settled on? Myles Garrett. He's like
I was literally about to say Myles Garrett.
It's the only thing I can think of. The only human that's ever been that large that bends like that. Now, Garrett's a Hall of Famer, one of the best ever, because he's twitchy somehow too, and he's just like all of it. He can bend, he can get off the line of scrimmage. He's strong as shit. Like, Myles Garrett's got everything. Ruben Bain's got everything but a 6-pack.
That's what I was about to say. It's like, but it's a different big. Like, Myles Garrett is chiseled. He's like, whereas Ruben Bain's like a Ford F-150.
People kept Javon cursing me. Or the curse kid, or Verse, Jared Verse. Not different. Jared Verse can't bend. Jared Verse is so like sledgehammery. This is totally different. I don't even know who to comp him to.
I don't know either, but really good football player.
Great.
Insane. I said he's the best line of scrimmage player in college football. Do y'all agree?
It's hard to think of anybody else.
It's hard
right
off
now.
the top of my head to think of anybody.
I think the only pushback I would make on my own self is Francis, the right tackle from their own team.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's great as well. Man, insane. Hey, what were your thoughts on that Auburn-Oklahoma football game? First and foremost, was it a fumble?
I say no.
You say incomplete pass. Jonathan and I argued about this today. You say incomplete pass. You say you don't know?
I walk away with that thinking I don't know. I think it's weird that call got overturned because I don't think there was enough indisputable evidence.
And that's the only reason I want to bring that up. And I want the chat's thoughts on this. Hey, fumble, incomplete pass. Give me your thoughts on this because I don't think there's a consensus one way or the other, which means that, for a fact, should not have been overturned.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with the fact that it should not have been overturned, but not knowing what the call was, I would have said that is an incomplete pass probably. But I also agree that there's probably not enough evidence to say, well, we called this a fumble recovery for a touchdown, we can overturn that. I agree with you there. Probably shouldn't have overturned it.
Chad's saying fumble mostly, but I think that's probably because we lean more Oklahoma than Auburn in this chat. More ball-curious fans in that Oklahoma fan base so far than that Auburn fan base.
Seems that way, but also
I think there are 3 SEC fan bases we can't seem to get in front of. Florida, LSU, and Auburn. Everybody else shows up in droves and it's like, oh my God, what is this place? Ball knowledge. And then they're hooked forever. Mm-hmm. Maybe that says something about them fan bases.
Well, maybe, perhaps.
I'm not going to send shots.
Maybe they're not ball key.
Don't want to fire off any shots, but
don't isolate nobody.
Door's still open. You're more than welcome to come on in here.
Wide open. I mean, just all you need is a curiosity for ball.
Going back to this game, though, I think that, for me, as much of a right as Auburn fans have to be upset, kind of what you reiterated on Sunday, Brooks, I thought Oklahoma dominated this game. Yeah. I thought they played really well. I thought Brent Venables did exactly what I thought they would on defense. I mean, they had Jackson Arnold double clutching, holding the football for way too long. That's why you had 10 sacks. And I thought that the ending possession where they get a safety, that was icing on the cake. That was exactly how that football game went for Auburn. But I will say this. I think that Auburn's defense is good. I thought both defenses played really well in this game. I just thought that Oklahoma found some other ways to win, given some maybe advantages that they were gifted in this as well.
Yeah, this is a game that's going to eat at you if you're an Auburn fan or if you're Hugh Freeze and, it ultimately doesn't end up working for you because this could have been the game that really turns things around.
Yeah.
You had a number 12 team or a top 10 team. I think they were ranked 11th at the time. Had top 15 on the ropes at home, had every chance to win that game, ultimately couldn't find it. You're going to look back at those calls. You're going to look back at the fumble, the pass interference, the type of calls that really swayed the game for you. So you'll say, I think that it could become a rallying point for Auburn, especially when you play Texas A&M next week. But it could also be one of these things where it's like, man, that was the best chance we had, and we had it taken away from us, and it could go downhill for this team.
You were in here for no, you weren't. Y'all weren't. Neither of you were here for film study. Did either of you watch that Oklahoma defense?
I have not watched.
I watched it.
You watched the study?
Yeah.
Thoughts on that OU defense, man?
I'd be terrified of having to go up against them. I really would.
Yeah.
I would just, and it has nothing to do with how good their players are. It's just that every single week, every single time I turn that defense on, the quarterback that they're going up against is crapping their pants every single time.
No chance without a run game.
Yeah.
If you can't run the ball for 200 yards against Oklahoma this year, I don't know if you're going to beat them. Because you're going to turn the ball over.
I mean, Auburn
the crazy thing is, Jonathan, they haven't turned teams over yet.
That's what I was about to say.
They don't have a turnover yet, and they're out here making quarterbacks piss themselves.
And Jackson Arnold very well could have had 3 interceptions on Saturday.
Should have. He hit a safety right in the face.
Yeah. Yes, he did. So I would just that's what my biggest takeaway. I'd be terrified if they're on my schedule this year and I got to go against that defense. I would be terrified.
It's a good defense. I don't know necessarily. Like I said, I think this team is still one bad John Mateer game away from losing.
Yeah,
because you put your offense. That's been the emphasis of your offense, and he's been great so far. But I don't like putting my stock in just one player all the way.
I excused on Sunday Oklahoma's entire offensive performance away. And look, Auburn's defense is great. I don't mean to demean them. I said on Saturday, I think they have a top 6 unit in this conference defensively, especially once they get healthy. They were down a starting corner who I love, a playmaking corner, a corner that's like difference maker out there. I know Kayan Lee's great, and I'm forgetting the name of the kid from Parkview that starts on the other side that was hurt, who I'm trying to give praise to. Not worth sitting here going over right now. But anyways, I excused the Oklahoma offensive performance completely away because they were completely without offensive linemen. Like they were playing their JV unit offensively up front. And that's hard to do against a unit from Oklahoma or at Auburn that's really, really good.
Does he play safety?
He plays corner. Number 1.
I have Omarion Robinson.
Nope.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
But to go back to the offensive line take, Yes, that's certainly a way to excuse it. But if you consistently have problems on the offensive line, I think at some point you're going to have to address a concern on this offense here, because it was the same thing last year for wide receivers.
Jay Crawford switched numbers to 23. Sorry.
I was saying it was the same thing last year for wide receivers. Like we talked about how, man, they're basically trying to run an offensive system without any wide receivers. Jackson Arnold's getting out there getting killed because they don't have anyone to throw to. So it's something to look at. That's all I'm going to say.
The only concern that I have about Oklahoma right now is the fact that I don't know that we're going to get a definitive answer on this football team until late in the year, because I think Chat brings up a good point. They haven't necessarily played a really competent passing offense just yet, and I don't think they do until they play Ole Miss in late October. But it's Ole Miss, it's Tennessee, Alabama, 3 weeks in a row, and then you close the season with LSU. There's potential where if that is the case, where maybe this secondary isn't as good as we think it is, or this defense isn't as good as we think it is, to where this thing just falls off the rails horribly at the end of the year.
What was that 3-game stretch you just mentioned? Ole Miss.
It's Ole Miss at home, at Tennessee, at Alabama.
Ole Miss is a very similar quarterback with Trinidad, very similar to what they just stopped with Auburn. Now, I know he's throwing for 300 yards a game, but he's not drop back pro style.
It is, and it's at Oklahoma.
Okay, Tennessee, we know what that is. Mm-hmm. All right, and then the Alabama game is a concern for everybody right now with the way Ty Simpson's playing. We're going to talk about that in the entire local hour. Ty Simpson's on fire. Those weapons are real at Alabama. They're a real concern for everybody, so I'm with you on that one. But with the way that they can get pressure, with the way that they can cause concerns, and just general chaos, the amount of times that they make quarterbacks not trust what they see is incredible. And it's been like that since he's been there. Since he's been at Oklahoma. Now, the problem is they get such short fields in previous years because their offense has been so anemic. But we said it the Sunday after the Michigan game. They are a playoff team at Oklahoma, in my opinion, as long as they have a breathable pulse on offense, because their defense is that good.
Yeah,
that's my opinion of them.
Certainly looks that way thus far in the season.
What football coaches would you put in that category? Because I put him in a category of defensive coordinators that fit this. If you give him 28 to 30 points per game, he's a playoff team. I put Kirby Smart in that category. I put Nick Saban in that category. I put Brent Brett in that category.
Could you put Lanning?
I don't know, because he hasn't had one of these defenses yet. He hasn't had just an absolute diabolical defense just yet. He's been a great offense team so far as a head football coach.
True.
Yeah, I don't know of any other names I'd really put in that category.
If you think I'm being too high on Brent Brett, that's exactly what he did at Clemson, by the way. He's just now got pulse at quarterback at Oklahoma, and guess what he's got? He's got a playoff team. So that's really it. People say Jim Harbaugh, he's an offensive guy.
Yeah, he is.
It's really a tight three over the last 20 years of college football.
Yeah, one of the three isn't even coaching anymore.
Exactly. What were your thoughts on that Michigan and Nebraska football game, boys?
Dude, Nebraska has the weirdest talent I've ever seen of just being able to find ways to lose one-score games. It's not even the ranked opponents thing, because I get that. You're necessarily not on the level of these. You probably should have a win at this point, but again, just finding every opportunity possible to not take advantage and win that football game. The missed field goal at the start of the game obviously ended up being the curse for them, but other than that, they had ample opportunities in that game to win.
They are and I hate to do this because I like Matt Rule and I like Nebraska and I like their fan base. They show up here. But until they go get better athletes up front, they're going to be the same Nebraska against these blue chip rosters. The moment you put Twitch in front of them, they're cooked. They can't do nothing. They have no explosivity offensively. They damn sure can't run the ball because defensive linemen with any type of athleticism, which every blue chip roster has, if you recruit in the top 15 range, you're going to box the shit out of Nebraska's run game, period. That's what history tells me. That's what it's going to continue to be until they get offensive linemen that can go east and west. They're going to have problems, and they do every single time against these good opponents.
Yeah, if you would have told me that Bryce Underwood really wasn't going to have to do much in this football game other than run the ball, I would have said Michigan is definitely winning this game because that's exactly what happened. I mean, it was good on Justice Haynes. I'm glad that his situation is working out in Michigan. He's having a really successful
he gets lit
season.
Up once a game. he is statistically booming, but man, he needs ice baths and ibuprofen.
Oh yeah,
my
but
God,
I think
he
that's
gets lit up.
I think that's what you sign up for when you go to Michigan, though, as a running back. It's like, all right, buddy, let's go.
You go tote this thing today.
You sign on the dotted line, and we're going to pay you for it, but you're also going to pay the price as well on the football field. But I think that the best thing for Nebraska, like, your quarterback still looks good. Like you look fine there. It's just everything else, man. And I think but that's also a concern because it is year 3. Matt Rule talked about year 3.
You got one more year of this guy who's playing really good quarterback.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have to deal one more year. Hey, I hate to sidetrack here. Stop asking for the Rayola Mahomes stuff to stop being talked about. It's going to continue to be talked about. He made it a thing. And I know that Nebraska fans get real sensitive about it. And now Matt's gotten sensitive about it. He goes to the podium and talks about, I wish people would talk more about how good he's playing. He's playing great football, but he has made this a thing, and it's going to continue to be talked about. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine, and you're right. It's already year 2 of Dylan Rayola. We're almost halfway through his second year, and what will likely be his last year next season. So I guess what you could say is if this season doesn't work out, you got to re-up some more in the transfer portal to get this guy some weapons, because you try to get Dane Key and you hope that would work. And
I don't even think it's about weapons, Jonathan. Like they don't have a lot of dudes, NFL dudes right now, and he's throwing for 300 yards, but they just can't run the ball. They get very, very one-dimensional, and guys start putting 5 guys in the box for their 7, and then they got a ton of people to cover everybody, and then they start checking the ball down everywhere. And it's the same Nebraska for 2 years now with them. They need a good left tackle, they need a good right guard, and they need to be able to actually run the football.
They need Amir Abdullah.
Huh?
They need Amir Abdullah.
Who's that?
Whoa.
Just do some critical thinking for me for a little bit.
Whoa. Did you just call us non-bondlers for not knowing the Oklahoma quarterback? And you don't know who Amir Abdullah is?
I'm football braining right now, boys. Y'all asked me for a Rod Wave song the other day, and I didn't know
the running back from like 2012 to 2014.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he had a better offensive line for what they were playing. I don't think they need a better back. They need a good offensive line. Shout out to Amir Abdullah. Sorry.
I concur.
Yeah.
I would have put 2 and 2 together there at some point that he was the running back. But, guys, I'm just not one of these people that's going to sit here and get out of that. I'm just going to tell you straight up, nope, don't know. That's me.
No,
don't
fair.
know. Sorry. By the way, do you know what I was doing in 2012 to 2015?
Playing football, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds like I don't. Oh.
That's a whole era of college football that my brain does not remember at all. I was a little bit losing my brain cells. I was a little busy. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Texas Tech's win?
Dude, I thought Utah would be able to like out physical teams when we got to the Big 12, because we came away in 2022, or was it? It was 2022, and said, "Man, they are the most physical team in the Pac-12. This will translate perfectly over to the Big 12. They're going to get in there and just push teams around." And they have not been able to do that so far. And Texas Tech was the epitome of that. They just bullied them the entire game.
I think the bigger thing for me is Texas Tech has a future at quarterback. That was my bigger takeaway from this game. Of course, Texas Tech wins the game, and that was like huge for them moving forward this year. What the heck?
I'm sorry.
Texas Tech winning the game with the backup quarterback is huge for the future.
Yeah, and I think that proved that they have a future with this program at quarterback, and that kind of makes sense as to what they're building towards. It seems like what they're trying to do right now, of like, this may not even be a one-hit wonder for them in conference play this year. If they do make the playoffs this year, they certainly have more of a future as well, but also like, you just let that guy put on an entire second half of tape for the whole world to see, and you got plenty of money. So I don't doubt the fact that you're going to be able to hold on to this guy, but you're going to have to probably do some fighting this year, in my opinion, in this offseason to try and hold on to that guy.
Yeah, and I think also he's
the walk-in starter next year.
For sure.
It's Barron? It's his last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think you just have to pay him, which they know that's not a problem over there.
That's what I was saying. It's like, you got plenty of money. It's probably not even a problem.
That is not a problem in Lubbock. But no, I think that this This is the game where we have to really start talking about Texas Tech as a playoff contender at this point, because it doesn't look like there's necessarily. Now, I know the Big 12 eats itself every year, but they came out kind of looking like one of the front runners.
Did Joel Klatt just arrive? Did Joel Klatt just show up on my stage?
Oh, no.
Hey, I thought he would have had them beating the Cowboys by the end of that broadcast. Good God almighty. I mean, my biggest takeaway was, hey, great. Like, we thought we were a culture team. We thought we were a winnable team. We thought we were a championship caliber team. We thought we had championship culture. Now we know. Type of win, great win, culture win, like big time, whatever, all that good stuff. But my God, was Utah's passing game anemic. Holy hell.
Yeah.
It looked like they just thought we was just going to run everybody over and, oh, crap, we can't. Uh-oh.
And that's why
what do we do now?
That's why I said I was kind of surprised to see this. We're just going to bully everyone in the Big 12 isn't working out, because it looked that much way in the Pac-12. They were the most physical team in that conference. They seemed like they had the best ability to run the football, but we were wrong on that.
The thing that makes me happy about the Big 12 this year is that we're getting true, like, peak Big 12 football this year. We got a bunch of offenses in that conference, and they're bound to have a 54-48 game every single week. Like, you're bound to get one of those. And this wasn't one of those games, but between what Baylor has on offense, what TCU has on offense, what Texas Tech has on offense, what Utah has shown they could potentially be on offense this year, like, between all of that, they're a fun conference to watch at the very least. So, like, from a non-biased observer, it's like, score as many points as you want, and let's do it at 9 o'clock at night.
Definitely.
They're also a conference that looks to me destined to have 2 10-2 teams in their conference championship game. That's just the way I think of that conference. I still think Arizona State's really good. We'll see about TCU this week. They play on Friday night. Utah, I think, still will figure something out.
Kansas.
Texas Tech, you're still putting up the spoon. That's crazy to me.
Dude, did you see what they did?
Kansas.
Did you see what they
we
did
didn't
to
even
West
talk
Virginia?
about my Cyclones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they got some teams out there that might scrap their way to and punch each other in a 9-3. Very Pac-12-y.
Yeah, it's still wide open.
Very
wide open
out there, which could ultimately hurt them. You know, they could if they had 2 11-1 teams facing off in a conference championship game. Both of those guys are getting in to a college football playoff. I think if they have a 10-2 champion this year or 11-2 champion this year, they might only have one team.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
absolutely.
this is
exactly what the Pac-12 used to do for the entire playoff era. Where
when
it
was a 4-team playoff.
Yeah, I was like, hey, we've got this one-loss team that's in the top 10 right now. And
No, you don't.
3 weeks ago,
Never mind.
They just lost. Damn.
Never mind. Utah just beat them.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it was.
Yep, for 3 or 4 years there at the end of the Pac-12's run. All right, we had a first-hand encounter of the absolute debacle up there for Dabo Swinney. What were the vibes like out there in Clemson, South Carolina? Kirby?
So I took 2 analysis of this. I took the in-game analysis of just play-by-play X's and O's stuff, and I can take away stuff like that. First one I have is that the juice from this program, at least this season, is gone. The crowd was not into that game. Now, it was a noon kick. It was hot. There was all that. Crowd was not into that game. The players were not into that game. Dabo didn't even, sprint down the hill like he usually does. Hit a light jog down the hill. We'll get to the hill impersonations later, because was not impressed, but everyone was seemingly going through the motions, and you saw it on the field. From the first whistle from the last play of the game, Syracuse controlled that football game. Clemson was going through the motions offensively, defensively, couldn't really get anything going. There's no eye discipline on that defense at all. They were consistently getting cooked in the back end. I think in the third quarter, there was a double move that went for about 60 yards. It was just like, this is not the Clemson defense that we thought we were going to coming into the season. Another one I have is Adam Randall. Not the best ball carrier vision. Really talented, super talented carrier. I think he had over 100 yards. Was missing a lot of holes. It seems like there's always something going wrong in that offense.
You must have been in the end zone.
I was in the corner, yeah.
Yeah.
Right corner of the end zone. Seems like there's always something going wrong in that offense. If the O-line doesn't block, Cade Klubnik's running for his life and has to try to make a play. If it's blocked, fine. Cade Klubnik misses a throw and it's inconsistent, or a wide receiver drops a ball. It felt like the offense could never get a start going because something was always going wrong. There was always a sack or a busted coverage on the offensive line pass pro. Things like that.
Or Syracuse was faking injuries.
Yeah, Again,
Fined for it, Kirby.
I saw that $25K. And,
Bunch of fakers, some
and I
other
think
fakers out there.
they would happily pay that fine again, by the way,
yeah, they
because
would.
Clemson's offense could not do anything. All right, so my overall city analysis now, because I've now analyzed this game, and I'm sure we'll talk about it afterwards. First thing I've got, the layout of the stadium is very interesting. You've got a lot of these stadiums where it's encapsulated in. We talked about Neyland Stadium, where you feel like you are in a dome, you're trapped in there.
Coliseum.
Not that way at Clemson. Two very high rises on the side. Both back ends are not very wide up. It feels like there's a side next to you that's just looking down. Doesn't allow for that noise to stand. Was not a very loud environment on that, I must say. The fans do not love their color combination either. I know everyone, gives them flack for having orange and purple. I was talking to a couple of people, I was like, so come on, do you
Are
guys,
you a purple guy or are you an orange guy?
I would much rather be purple, but even then, mixing it with orange, I was like, do you guys even like this? Like, it took some time to get used to, but it's our team, and so I was like, wow, that's surprising. Here's one that I found that very interesting. They don't realize that everyone makes fun of them for going onto the field after a home game.
They don't know.
They don't know this.
I was telling, I was like, so like, why do you
Self-awareness zero, huh?
Yeah, I was like, why do you guys do that? It's like, well, we meet at the Paul and we sing the alma mater and all that. They don't rush the field. To their credit, they don't rush the field. It's not like when you win a top 10 game, you storm the field. They go out in the field and all that. I was like, but yeah, everyone makes fun of you for that. Like, really? Other teams don't do that. Like, yeah, no. This is like, that's like high school stuff.
Yeah, that's a you guys thing.
Bar scene. Now this is the more interesting part for some people. Way more family friendly than I was expecting. I was expecting, hey, top program, powerhouse for a long time, one of the bigger names in the ACC.
Rowdy.
Not as rowdy as I thought. There were families still walking around, into the wee hours. Not wee, like late nights. We stayed out till probably about 9, but a lot more family friendly. Makes Tallahassee and Georgia look like, I don't even want to describe, like the most debaucherous place you've ever been. So very family friendly though, but overall solid experience. Feel bad for the Tigers because they don't have a program this year.
I always thought the Clemson fan base was more like I always called them the Canadians of college football.
Yes.
Super nice. Like, hey, what can I get you? Do you need anything? Never angry. Never mean.
They're like that amongst each other. They don't like.
And
Georgia,
I felt that in away stadiums where they were infiltrating. Mm-hmm. Supposed to be coming into enemy territory, angry and pissed off. No. Canadians of college football.
Felt very much that way during the game. All right, and my final takeaway from this, and I might get some flack. Howard's Rock in the run down the hill.
Mid.
It's overrated.
I always knew it was.
Now,
didn't even have to witness it myself.
Again, it was a noon kick for a 1-2 team that was going against an unranked opponent, and it was very hot outside. But they run down a hill, and when they get to the bottom, they hop a little bit. That's it. And by the way, the band is set up in the direction so that when they actually get to the field, you can't see them there. So you don't even see Dabo sprinting down and doing his thing. It's just they go down the hill, they touch the rock, and yeah, it's cool that they're in the fans and all that stuff, and the buses drive up. That's a unique flair to it. I didn't walk away from that going, oh my goodness. I went to Florida State in 2021 when they played a bad Louisville team and lost. Chief Osceola has way more energy than that. So Howard's Rock's overrated. I'm sorry, Clemson fans.
All right, we got some previews of a massive weekend in college football. We'll come back with predictions tomorrow on these similar football games. Thought we would just give a general preview tonight because it is a massive slate this weekend, starting with a big-time noon kickoff between USC and Illinois. Guys, I don't know how you get up off the mat after a 50-point road loss like Illinois just suffered. I mean, guys, this is a different Illinois football program, or at least they've been telling themselves all offseason they're a different version of themselves. Hey, it's our year. It's our chance. It's our time at Illinois. And then fourth game of the season, you get 50 drummed. I mean, my God, give up 63. Could have given up 100 in that football game, it felt like. So I just wonder how in the world you get back up for a football game this weekend against USC, who is a confident football program coming into your place this weekend. I feel like we all got an opportunity to really watch USC on a main stage this weekend when they played that 11 o'clock game against Michigan State. And guys, for the second straight year, and it's been heavily talked about, for the second straight year, I feel like USC has made a point to turn themselves into a Big Ten football program. They are a football program that runs the ball and plays defense strongly, I feel like. Like they play defense like you're supposed to in the Big Ten with good defensive line play and protecting the defense on the other side of the ball by running it.
Yeah, I definitely continued to be impressed by the defense, but allowing 31 points to Michigan State would have me a tad concerned about that. Like, if that is our identity as a team and that's what the standard is, like that's what we're producing, that would have me a little concerned. But I do think that Lincoln Riley has saved face a little bit so far this year. I think that looks like a competent football team. It looks like they're competitive this year. I think that this is going to be the biggest test, obviously, for them. But I think I've been impressed with them. I didn't watch USC this past weekend and was like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Like, yeah, they're winning this game and they're going to win this game, but it's only because what their quarterback is doing. Like, I feel like it was a more complete, well-rounded football team.
So there's two things I'm thinking about this. One, Lincoln Riley might be licking his chops for this game because you have an Illinois team that's not necessarily built to bounce back from games like this. They're built up as potential playoff contenders all season. You suffer a loss like this, that might be a huge blow to your confidence, especially when you're not one of these halves of college football. Two, and this is what worries me a little more about Lincoln Riley, they have kind of always seemingly started strong at USC, and especially in his Oklahoma years, they've always looked really good in that first month of college football. They looked good last year. It was like, wow, they've got a defense. They beat LSU. They gave Michigan everything they wanted to handle. They look like a physical football team, and it sputtered off towards the end. I wonder if that's either going to be a game where USC and Lincoln Riley come in here and say, hey, no, this is our identity now. We are a physical team. We are built to last in this conference, or it's going to be one of these things where it kind of sputters and Illinois might win this football game.
This is the same football program that I think lost to Minnesota last year.
Correct.
And they blew a second half lead to Penn State at home last year. Correct. This is still a football program that I think finished last year 8-4 in the regular season.
Yeah, 8-4, maybe 7-5. I can't fully remember.
So I could be ahead of the horse. I mean, chat's already got on me. They haven't played anybody worth a salt yet. They've beaten a Purdue team that seems to have a little bit more life than we thought that going into the year, right? That was one of the worst Power 4 football programs in college football last year. And Barry Odom's at least putting up a fight offensively and defensively out there with the Boilermakers, or as I call them, the Purdue Choo-Choos. You don't like that?
The Purdue Choo-Choos?
Yeah, the Purdue Choo-Choos.
All right.
Yeah. That's going to stick. I got a feeling.
Not with me, stick. But maybe somebody else.
Make that stick. But they're putting up a better fight.
Chooch in there.
They're just trying to sneak a chooch in there. You're right.
Anyways.
It's a good football game at noon.
Yeah.
It's a good football game. Another good football game. Good Lord. Talk about getting off the mat like in Illinois having to do this weekend. Could you imagine losing a one-score football game in which your entire fan base is pleading to the conference that you have been robbed for a win, and then you got to go on the road and get up off the mat in front of 107,000 at A&M. Auburn's got a tough get-off-the-mat game this weekend.
By the way, that's the team you kept from going to the SEC championship last year. And
an absolute get-back game for the Aggies.
Yeah, this is why I said this could be one of those games where it really just goes to hell for Auburn, because you had the opportunity to get that really marquee win, and you whether you want to admit you got it robbed from you. So I would be very worried if I'm Auburn in this game.
2 points. My first one, it's a question. Is this a must-win game for Hugh Freeze?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
For this season speaking, I would say yes, it is a must-win game for you. My second point, good news is I like this matchup for Auburn. I do, because I mentioned when we were talking about our Auburn-Oklahoma thoughts, I came away pretty impressed with Auburn's defense. I thought they played well on Saturday. And Texas A&M, as great as their offense has been this year, their defense has been pretty questionable. They're giving up points a lot this year. So if Texas A&M's hopes is to just win shootouts every single weekend, I think Auburn has an opportunity to go into this game and turn it into a different direction and have it being their style of football game. So I kind of like this matchup for Auburn, in my opinion. It's just a matter of what is the offense going to do? Is it going to find some consistency on the road?
And I think it's always worth noting, A&M has, for their entire existence in the SEC, had these types of games where it's like, you should win on paper, you're the better football team here, and you found a way to lose. So I don't know if that's going to be this one. It's something to look out for, though, because Texas A&M does find ways to squander top 10 rankings.
Didn't Auburn get absolutely thrashed the last time they went to A&M? That was the game Hugh Freeze got done with and was like, we got guys running naked in the back end. We just don't have a quarterback. And then the next year rode with Peyton Thorne again. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I believe that was the last time they played
Auburn,
at A&M. Auburn's played at A&M twice in the last 4 years, and Georgia's never gone out there.
It was 27-10.
Yeah. I mean, I think they had like 84 yards of total offense in that football game.
Oh, hold on.
I just remember.
I mean, it was biblically bad.
They didn't score. Auburn did not score their first touchdown of the game until 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I just remember the one Auburn game where there was a fumble going and Jimbo Fisher's like 5 yards into the field of play.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun. That sounds like this guy's cooked.
But we need Jimbo Fisher back on the sideline. You know?
Or at least get him in the booth.
I mean, we're going to lose Butch Davis soon. Red-faced Butch. We got to have somebody back on the sideline.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is he going to get canned at Arkansas State?
Oh, you mean
Is he
Butch
still there?
Jones?
Butch Jones?
I haven't been paying attention.
Is he still there?
I don't think he is.
Did he get canned last year? Did we lose Butch Jones?
Butcher, you okay?
Butch, are you still out there, bud?
Oh, he is still the head coach.
Whew. You know, by the skin of his teeth right there.
Yeah, I don't think it's been very impressive.
No, it hasn't.
No.
He's gone 2-10, 3-9, 6-7, 8-5, and he's 1-3.
Oh. Dang it,
Not looking too good for Butch.
What we got next?
Notre Dame at Arkansas.
Dude.
Oh, buddy.
Yo, it could get bad.
So here's the
For
thing.
either.
For either
team.
I don't know. If you lose this by one, if you find a way to lose this one, like you found the way to lose the last 2 weeks at Arkansas, you might get shown the door.
Yeah, dude.
They have looked for and found ways to lose football games.
Ways you couldn't even imagine.
They are the Nebraska of the SEC.
Yeah, right now.
Where it's like, hey.
But Nebraska's, I feel like under Matt Rule right now, Nebraska's just not good enough in these games that they lose by one score. I feel like Arkansas found a way to lose that football game against Memphis.
This is true. You're right in that regard. But here's the other thing, though. This is a very much a, hey, Notre Dame, here's your SEC win. Here, go get it. And their defensive back play has been so suspect this year. I'm kind of worried for them moving forward.
Look, I love Marcus Freeman. I think he's a great football coach. But he's one loss away to Arkansas this week from a talking head going up on their microphone and going, this guy's the 2025 version of Mike Norvell.
Oh,
This guy just went to a playoff game and now he's 1-3. Like, we are so close to that happening, and I don't want that to happen. I don't. But they can't play the pass right now at Notre Dame, and this ain't the one. This ain't the offense to not be able to defend the pass against.
no, it is not.
Yeah, Taylor Green going to throw moonballs all over that Notre Dame secondary if they're not
Taylor
fair.
Green is averaging 400 yards of total offense by him damn self right now. This is not the football team to be going on the road with, not being able to play defense.
Who's more of a Florida State if Notre Dame loses this game? Clemson or Notre Dame?
I don't look. Again, I'm just saying it's going to be somebody's going to run with the take of did we crown this Marcus Freeman guy way too quick? Was last year a blimp on the radar? Is this the real him? Guys, he's lost to Northern Illinois. Guys, he's lost to Marshall. Guys, he's 1-3. There are going to be a lot of talking heads, I believe, that have some smoke for this guy if he loses this weekend.
The answer is Clemson, by the way.
The answer is Clemson.
Moving on, I think the concerning part for me about Notre Dame is I came into the season kind of tempering expectations for them because I knew how valuable Riley Leonard was to that team last year, to that national title run for them the entire year, because it was Riley Leonard is going to find an answer no matter what, or he's going to be the answer no matter what. And the young quarterback going in like CJ Carr, I thought that maybe it would progress, and I think it has a little bit since they played in Miami. I don't think that's been an issue, and that's the concerning part is that hasn't been the issue for you as of late. It's been the secondary, which is the one thing that I thought you'd be able to rely on. Like this Notre Dame defense is like going to be like worst case scenario 45th in the country. Like they're going to
plug and play.
Yeah, and they're going to be at worst they're just good. Like maybe they're not great or anything like that, but they're going to be good. I just haven't seen that. That's the more concerning part for me about Notre Dame.
I mean, we knew Xavier Watts was a good football player, but they were a man-to-man football team last year, and now they can't hardly play anything consistently. I listened to a Marcus Freeman post-game press conference where he was like, I mean, we tried to play cover 3. We tried to play cover 2. We tried to play man-to-man. Eventually, you just got to play something and get good at it. And we're not good at anything right now, was basically the version of what he was talking about. And I thought Notre Dame was just going to be, hey, it's Notre Dame, great in the defensive backfield. I just thought it was what they were going to be, and it's not what they are right now, and that scares me going into this football game. LSU at Ole Miss. Interesting storyline going into this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? What is the storyline you speak of?
So Lane Kiffin's got like 17 daughters, however many. He's got a lot of them. One of them is dating Whit Weeks.
The Get Ready With Me one?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're all Get Ready With Me daughters.
Are they all Get Ready With Me daughters?
I think they all have some.
They're all Get Ready With Me daughters. One of the Get Ready With Me daughters is dating Whit Weeks. And so we got takes on this, I'm sure. I've got a take on what's going on with relationships nowadays. Back in my day, not to do this, I'm not that old, but back in my day, if we wanted to announce that you were dating somebody, you just changed your MySpace top friends on your page. And then that changed from that to going Facebook official. Now we're hard launching relationships as if they're a new product. What is up with this? Hard launching.
That just means you're putting it on social media.
It's just
you're
another
introducing
term.
Everybody to your new boo thing.
People create names for everything. It's literally just the first post you have on social media. It's like,
the internet's race to takes on this. Who actually has the mental advantage here?
Dude,
Who is the covert op right here?
Oh, it's gotta be.
Is it Kiffin's daughter infiltrating the LSU linebacker room, or is it Whit Weeks dating Lane Kiffin's daughter?
Infiltrating the Kiffin family?
Phrasing. Be careful. That's why I was nice and slow on that one.
Just saying.
dude, here's the thing. I don't think Lane Kiffin's daughter is a psyop for Ole Miss football. I don't think she's going back there and be like,
You don't think she's getting defensive game plans? You don't think she's on the iPad late at night?
She doesn't have to.
Hey, what's your passcode, honey? You don't think?
I don't think she's doing that.
Look, I think it's more of a win for Ole Miss. I think it's more of a win for them. I think that. Look, if Lane Kiffin's daughter gets Whit Weeks to take 30 minutes out of his day just to do nothing, I think that's a win. And for like during the game, I don't know, like you're taking up more headspace for him than I think you are for Lane Kiffin, because if he does have as many daughters as you're saying, or even half of that, I think that I don't think it's.
I think the real psyop from Lane Kiffin would be like a Wednesday breakup text. Not only would Whit Weeks have to decide, is this like what's going on with my girlfriend? Which quarterback are they going to play?
Yeah.
Which quarterback is Ole Miss going to play?
Here's where I think it could be an advantage LSU. If you win that game, the memes and the game day signs and all of the other stuff, because we know Mr. Kiffin is probably the most active social media coach in the SEC, and for that matter, nationally. Let LSU win that football game.
Are we going to hard launch Trinidad James or Chambliss at Trinidad James? Are we going to hard launch Trinidad Chambliss as the starting quarterback of the Ole Miss Rebels this weekend? Because I think we should. We should just go ahead and make the decision. I think he's better for their offense.
I would agree with you. I think he's shown that. He's not turning the ball over. That's the biggest thing.
Jonathan,
that's been the biggest discrepancy.
For the last, I feel like 2.5 years, Ole Miss has not been able to run the football consistently.
Yeah.
I feel like Ole Miss has not been able to traditionally run the ball. And though Jackson Dart dusted off some quarterback run the last couple of years, I didn't want him running the ball 12 to 15 times a game. This kid's built like a back, and he has done this. He's got like 400 career carries in Division II. So I think they actually have a reasonable, like reliable run game with this guy at quarterback, and I think they should just roll with it moving forward. That's my opinion, but I understand the future probably looks brighter with the ceiling of Austin Simmons. But dude, you're in a position right now where you've got winnable quarterback play with this Chambliss kid. I think they should just go ahead and go with him.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That would be my suggestion as well.
It's a tough game for LSU. I mean, they have absolutely sputtered offensively against good competition and decent defense. And this ain't one of those ones. Like, you're going to have to score 30 points this weekend.
They're underdogs in this game. Wow. Yeah.
Lane Kiffin at home is not something to play with.
No, he's not.
We know the road home splits there. It's like 40 to 20. It's like 40 points per game at home, 20 points per game on the road, and you getting this one on the road or at home for them.
While LSU's offense has not exactly been clicking.
That's what I'm saying. It scares me here, knowing for almost a certain fact the LSU Tigers are going to have to score 30-plus points this weekend to win, and I don't know if they can do that right now against an SEC defense. That's really, really scary, and I think that's why Vegas is showing what they're showing. Guys, the massive game this weekend, College Game Day, will be in town, Oregon, at Penn State. What's your initial thoughts on this football game?
There is no better definition than a show-me game. I mean, this is the game where it's like, hey, James Franklin, we've heard all off season long, this is the year you're putting it all together. Hey, Drew Aller, we heard that you're a top 10 prospect in the quarterback, which is probably a top 5.
This is it for me. And I don't mean to cut you off, but this is it for me. Drew Aller, if you do not go out and play good this weekend, just done. It's your last opportunity to prove you are any decent or any good at the quarterback position, or else you're just one of these talented 6'5", 235 pounders. If you don't go out and play like a winnable NFL type of prospect, I'm done. We will never talk about you as that first rounder. In fact, if anybody labels you a first rounder, I will look at them and say, that guy hasn't been watching college football for 3 years, because they have high school offense, this kid, his entire career. And every time somebody puts it at his feet, he loses the football game. Every time he plays a real defense, he's 165 yards per game, 60% completion percentage. Drew, if it don't happen this weekend, it ain't happening. We're done with it. Now, I'm not as far as to say this about James Franklin just yet, but I'm okay with it if you put that on him. If you want to put this on James Franklin too, buddy, if you ain't going to win this one, I'm done with it. You ain't never winning one.
Honestly, I'm at the point where if this one doesn't happen for Penn State, I'm just kind of done talking about Penn State. Like, I don't want to hear anybody hyping up Penn State anymore, talking about this is a national title contender, this is a playoff team. They might still end up being a playoff team because of the schedule, even if they lose to Oregon, but I would not be talking about Penn State as one of these teams until we get to the college football playoff, when it is forced to happen, because there have been too many instances of this specific game coming up on the schedule and Penn State not delivering that I think everybody's kind of tired of it. I don't think it's just a me thing. So, like Christian said, it is a definition of you better show me this weekend type of game.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And again, you guys have said it all perfectly. So there's no better opportunity for James Franklin, for Penn State, for Drew Aller to come in here. You've got a top 5 program coming in to
that's hot, blistering hot.
The team that beat you in the Big Ten championship last year. You're getting the whiteout. You're getting the night game. It's a top 5 matchup. This is it. This is all the signs are pointing. You're favored in this game right now. Show me. Show me that everyone who talked about you and hyped you up in the offseason was right. Until
Boys,
then,
for the last 45 minutes in our chat, it's been nothing but dogs and crimson-tide elephants barking and hollering at one another. We got a whole hour of this Alabama and Georgia preview coming your way on the other side of this break.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You like that? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another hour here on the Film Guy Network, and it is a loaded local hour. We got Kirby Smart press conference notes. I've got an injury report expectations segment for you guys today. Not only going to tell you what I think the status is of these football players, but what the expectation for them in their first return to action ultimately should be. I've got film notes for you guys as well, and we've got what worries or what should worry you on both sides of the football, and we've got our full game predictions as well. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, like, subscribing, rate, and review, and supporting the channel however you can, like our fine friends over at Sleeper have chosen to do this season as well. Okay, let's give a shout out to those folks right now. The number one place for daily fantasy and prop plays. Sleeper is a fantasy sports plus real money gaming app focused on bringing people together through sports and gaming. Sleeper has become the fastest organically growing fantasy platform in the world while earning some of the highest levels of engagement per user in the industry. At Sleeper, it's not just about sports, it's about building personal connections and lasting memories. Use promo code Brooks today and you'll get up to 100% deposit match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Again, promo code Brooks over there for 100% deposit match. Boys, I don't know if it's the caffeine. I don't know if it's the routine. I don't know if it's just the vibes. but I nailed that ad read. I absolutely split that sucker.
You've gotten good at the sleeper ad reads.
Hell yeah. Shout out to those folks over at Sleeper. Boys, what do you want first? You want these Kirby Smart presser notes?
Yeah, let's just ease into the hour.
Always start with the news and the notes. It's Bama week. It's Bama week. We're preparing, excited for a big stage, excited for the economical impact that is huge that's coming to this city.
I like
How about
it.
Kirby Smart loving up on the small business owners? We love to see that.
Small business smart?
Can't ever forget them.
Can't ever forget it. Economical impact of a massive home and home like this.
That's how you know he's trying to steer the storylines as far as you can. You start talking about the local economy for the game, bro.
Stimulating the local economy. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Playing Bama at home. It's an absolutely huge advantage. Going on the road in this conference is hard. Being at home, is a big help for them. At the end of the day, though, you got to play football. At the end of the day, you got to line up and play football. I asked him about the differences in the offenses between, what they had last year and what they got going on this year, apart from the quarterback. And, he said, you mentioned it. It's a good point. They are obviously totally different at the quarterback position. But he mentioned, and he's kind of gone viral for this today, saying nobody in college football playing hotter than Ty Simpson right now.
Yeah, didn't exactly phrase it that way either, the way you just did of Ty Simpson is the hottest quarterback.
Yeah.
But there's certainly some truth to it. I mean, he's playing really good, that's for sure.
He's playing great football right now. We're going to talk about it in our film notes. We've already done that film breakdown, and I agree with Kirby. I think he's playing great football. I thought he played good football against Florida State. Something that he mentioned, he didn't realize when he went back until he watched that game. He said he didn't see it until he saw it on film because he didn't see the TV copy because they were playing at the time. He didn't realize how sloppy and wet that game was. How much of a downpour it actually was.
Yeah, it was bad.
From jump. I mean, it rained mid-game, but it also rained pre-game out there. That I think the track was sloppy from the jump.
Surprisingly, no weather delays for that one, though.
But it was a storming.
One of them Florida pop-up showers.
Yeah.
Just going to rain on you out of nowhere. Talked about the wide receivers from Alabama. Obviously, everybody knows about Ryan Williams. He really loved up on Jeremy Bernard, who we've taken a liking to on this channel, and noticed just how differently they used him. He actually compared him to Dylan Bell. So they use him as a running back, use him as a primary blocker in the backfield, which they do. Use him as a jet sweep guy, use him as a true X, use him as a Z. They use Jeremy Bernard to do just about everything in this offense, and he's really the catalyst, I believe was the word that he used today for this offense. Said all the wide receivers are playing at an insane rate, which we'll talk about as the night continues. He was asked if Sanford is a tougher place to play or if it's gotten tougher, and his answer was simple. It's tough to play here because we're tough to play against.
Facts.
Like, it's loud. It's an SEC stadium. It's on par with everyone else. He mentioned that. He didn't degrade the stadium or say it wasn't as loud as LSU or wasn't as loud as Auburn or wasn't as loud as Tennessee, but it's hard to play Georgia. That's what it is. I mean, it's just hard to play them. And yeah, it's hard to play in front of 93,000. It's really hard to play in Sanford Stadium. It's loud. It's just as loud as everywhere else. It's not as loud as Neyland.
I do think that there is a stat, and I wish I had it pulled up with me so I actually get this right, but I do want to say that Sanford Stadium has caused the most false starts over the last 3 years in college football. I believe that is true.
Is that because Georgia doesn't have false starts in their own home stadium? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Georgia goes on these other road places and puts up goose eggs.
Oh, yeah.
They go to Auburn and put up 0 false starts. They go to Alabama and put up 0 false starts. That will tilt these a lot. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just one of the sample sizes, though. But no, y'all produce a lot of false starts in this stadium, so it must be loud. But I think I agree with Kirby. It's harder to play at Georgia nowadays than it was 10 years ago.
Certainly truth to that.
Because they're just better.
Yeah.
They're just a better football team than they were a decade ago. Was asked if he prepares for it, or what's the difference in versions of Bama, the Saban version, the DeBoer version. I think they were trying to get a quote on what was it like playing Saban versus what is it like playing DeBoer. And he mentioned they change every year as they should. It'll be a different Bama team next year than it was this year. It's a different Bama team this year than it was last year, right? Because they're a good football coach or staff over there. They're going to change as their personnel does. He said they changed offensively and defensively as they will every single year. Didn't really give an answer about the bye weeks. Feels like it's an advantage for both teams. They both got them. Ryan is dynamic. Was asked about Ryan Williams and his ability to just like blow up games out of nowhere. And that, I think that's one of the scariest things about playing this football team is that Ryan can catch the ball anywhere on the field and end up in the box like that. I mean, he's so explosive with the ball in his hands. Now that Genty's out of college football, I don't know if there is a more, and Lenoris is playing Basal's football. I don't think there is an open field ball carrier right now more terrifying than Ryan Williams.
It's hard to argue against that. I can't off the top of my head think of anyone.
Was asked about the right side of the offensive line, and his first response was, I no clue. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue if they're going to get better. We're going to have to see. They get an opportunity to get better every single day against SEC competition in practice. I just got to see it in a game. I'm in agreement with that. Like, I think Bo Hughley solidified some things in the pass department over at right tackle, but
got to put it all together.
We got to be able to run block.
Yes,
we got to be able to run block. I think that was the reason it took so long to get into that football game against Tennessee, because they don't know if he can uproot guys in the SEC on first and second down. We know he can stay in front of him. He's a great athlete. We just don't know if he can actually. We got to match up this weekend against LT Overton. We're going to find out whether or not he can run block well enough. Zach's been a hard worker. Actually, Zachariah. Zachariah. Okay, it's not Zach Branch, it's Zachariah.
That's how he wants it.
That's how he wants it. That's how he will be called on this network. Zachariah is a great hard worker, just wants to win. Okay, got to remain physical out there, wide receiver. Night games are louder.
Understandable.
Said this two-pronged approach. They got more time to get prepared.
More drinking.
More drinking, and temperature.
Yeah.
For
Not
sure.
as hot.
For sure.
Said even us, we're slower when it's hot.
It's a lot easier to be loud when it's cool outside, 67 and cool, and not 85 and sunny beating down on you.
Was asked about Alabama's defenses and the improvements there, and I agree, especially with the second and third games that I've studied. Maybe not so much the Florida State game. Said they're multiple, a lot to prepare for, moving players around a lot. They mix and match zones really well. They're doing a good job disguising as well. During the press conference, I wrote, I'll see about that. Because I didn't necessarily think that was the way I would have described them against Florida State, but watching them against Wisconsin, I would have to tend to agree there. They are a lot more multiple than they were a year ago, which is a good thing because I thought they were very predictable defensively in terms of scheme and could get picked apart because of it. Was asked about Dontrell and Bo Hughley playing together, so they got to go out and improve and continue to get better. Got to play well around those guys, though. It's not just about them. So reading that back, that's a nothing burger. DeBoer's still putting his identity on that job. He's won everywhere he's been, and it took a different kind of guy to take that job over. And it's a buy-in thing, right? It's players, it's coaches, it's all that stuff. Was asked about Jordan Davis's block. Said he was notified about it during Matt Stafford's Zoom today. Apparently, he and Matt Stafford Zoomed together. I don't know what,
two of them?
Just the two of them. I don't know what they talk about, but today it was about how Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter stole that game from him. He said, we felt like we had it until those guys stole it from us. So that's unfortunate.
What connection does Stafford have with Kirby?
You think he's just talking ball?
Probably
just talking ball.
I guess.
Stafford is a savant. This guy's a defensive savant. Maybe they just talk ball.
I could very well see that.
I got guys that we just talk ball with.
Well, I guess I'm more wondering
Now,
where their paths cross.
I wish you'd call me at more opportune times. You know, just calling me on a random Tuesday to talk ball. I like it, but just maybe hit me up first. Make sure I'm free.
I guess I was just more wondering what the connection to Kirby Smart and Matthew Stafford was.
Them dogs.
I mean, that's definitely
And ball.
There you go.
All right,
Plenty.
I got my question.
That's all you need.
You love them dogs? You love that ball? Zoom. Was asked about their ability to get after the quarterback, and as usual at this time of the year, they haven't played anybody actually trying to throw the ball. So, kind of hard to evaluate whether or not you're getting home.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, Tennessee throws the football, but you ain't getting home.
No.
You ain't getting home unless you just not touched over at Tennessee. They get rid of the ball so quickly out there. It doesn't really matter. Those are my Kirby Smart presser notes.
We got a super chub asking about the Coach Mark Richt belt.
Oh, yeah. I wrote a bunch of notes about that, and I want to talk about that. So good call. I'm glad I saw that super chub. Let's talk about that. Where are those notes? Let's see here. All right, I got some information for this. Rick's Dog Bowl. That is RICHTSDAWG bowl.com. BOWL. This is obviously broadcast and live streamed by our great friends over there at Dog Nation every single year. It is a bowl-orama. Where every single lane features a Georgia football player, and you can sponsor a lane. This goes to helping Parkinson's and Crohn's disease, which I learned today are actually tied together with regards to research. Okay, that the gut and intestinal information that they are using and helping to try to help Parkinson's actually goes to alleviate pain for Crohn's disease as well. So that's obviously a cause worth supporting that you should go run over to. Again, that's Rick's Dogbowl.com. That'll be Friday night, and it'll be live streamed again by Dog Nation. BA will be doing a bang up job out there, going lane to lane, giving interviews. Probably worth your watch.
Happy to see Coach Rick looking good.
Yeah, you look good today.
Look good, bro. I saw Coach Rick pounding the pavement about a month and a half ago.
Coach
out there on Millage, hit pounding the pavement.
Mark Rick is like the perfect retired former head coach. Like, lives in the city, loves the university, always showing face. Like, he's just a great ambassador for everything Athens and UGA.
Love Coach Rick, man.
I think I don't know where Ray Goff lives, but I'm pretty sure all former Georgia football coaches that are still living live in Athens.
I know they at least live within the state.
Yeah, but I do think you're right. I want to say that you're right.
Because, I'm pretty sure Dooley lived in Athens, too, until he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Something about that city, man.
Something about that city. Just a classic.
Just keeps a hold on you, no matter what.
I see what you did there. The classic city.
Some would say. Injury report. All right. Some big name football players may or may not be coming back for this football game. Let's start with Alabama, Kirby. I think they're expecting Jam Miller to play in this football game, and it seems today it was reported Tim Keenan will be returning back from ankle surgery. He had tightrope about 30 days ago.
So we've kind of talked about the Tim Keenan one, where it's going to be Tim Keenan, but it's probably not going to be the Tim Keenan. Is it the same for Jam Miller? Do you think that when Jam Miller steps on the field, it's going to be a 100% version of him, or it's going to be like, he's still banged up?
I think it's 100% until he gets a stinger in that shoulder.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's going to look like him until he gets hit one time, and then it might hurt.
Yeah. Which, by the way, DeBoer said during his presser that he fully expects him to play, and they've been ramping up his volume ahead of the game.
Oh, they've clearly been stowing away for this football game for Jam to return.
Yep.
Now, and I would imagine it's going to do great things for their run game. They've been very much so running back by committee since he's been gone. Richard Young's looked okay. They like Kirby said today, it reminds him a lot of Georgia's running back room. They got a kind of a balance of a lot of things. They got a big guy, they got a fast guy, they got a kind of do everything guy, and they've been rotating through 3 or 4 of those running backs since Jam's been gone. I would imagine they try to feature him until he can't be featured. Mm-hmm. That's how I would approach that. Now, we did talk about it with Tim. Tim needs to play because you'll see it on film tomorrow when we look at this Alabama defense. They're trying to run odd front, but they don't have a true nose. So when they hop into it, they're very counterable. They're very run game creasable because the nose is getting knocked around and Tim doesn't. But what Tim Keenan are we going to get?
Yeah.
But I guess the good news here is that it's not like a tight end. It's not like even a tackle that has to be like super twitchy and whatever. He just got to be able to hold his ground. So if he can, stand in there with a bum ankle and tough it out, it's a major addition for their run defense.
It makes me think of Georgia going into this matchup last year. Michael Williams was coming back from an ankle injury. It wasn't coming off of tightrope, I don't believe, but it was a significant ankle injury that kept him on the sidelines. And in this game last year, he did play, but he was on a snap count. I would imagine that's what it is for Tim Keenan this game.
And when he did have those snaps, it was very obvious he was laboring out there. It was not the
and he's asked to do different things than Tim Keenan is, like you were mentioning.
But it's very obvious that he came back and he was not fully 100% of the player that he was.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the tightrope surgery. I wonder if that is an agility thing that comes back. That's like when we roll ankles, sometimes it's a strength thing, sometimes it's an agility thing, sometimes it's a general balance of the ligament. If he's able to hold pressure without pain, he's going to be fine for what he's going to be asked to do. But if that hurts or that limits his ability to hold double teams, then he's not himself.
Yeah,
this isn't a 53.5 yards sideline to sideline guy anyways. He is a root that you have to get up out of the ground.
I mean, the way that Kirby Smart has always talked about tie rope surgery is it's really all about pain tolerance.
Correct.
That's what it really boils down to. Of you may be ready to play, like you may be able to move around, but what is your pain tolerance? Because that's a whole different thing of, especially when you take multiple reps in a game, of like, where does that pain tolerance get to in that game and how much can you take on?
Yeah, I mean, you've got rods and holes were drilled into your bones a month ago.
Not even, almost.
Yeah, I think we're under 30 days as we speak.
So
the fastest we've ever seen return is 27 and 28 days.
it was Brock, wasn't it?
Brock and Tua. And that's as quick as, and neither of those were anything like themselves.
No.
Until
Tua got hurt.
after a month.
Tua got hurt the next.
He blew his hip up, right?
Yeah.
Against LSU?
Mississippi State, I believe. So, yeah. Tough.
So we'll have to see about that. Or for Georgia, injury report wise, man, we're fighting something up in here, ain't we?
No, you know what it was?
What's that?
I mowed the lawn today and I didn't put anything over my face. So I think the allergies are just kicking my ass right now.
Yeah, that's on you.
On me.
Pain of regret. Ernest Green, we haven't gotten any type of update on this.
Probably won't.
Bless you. If you roll him out there, you got to keep a close eye on that.
Everything with him.
It can't be a him decision here in this football game. We can't wait for him to come over and say, "Coach, I can't go anymore."
Yeah.
Like, we have to watch it closely.
And it seems so like.
I'm trying, man. I can't help
It don't sound like it.
You want him holding his sneezes?
I mean, Jesus.
I think for Ernest, it's like such a very like touch and go injury from what it seems like. Of might be again kind of like going back to the conversation we just had of you might feel like you're ready to go, but then like once bullets start flying and we're actually getting into action, then it kind of quickly is like, oh, I'm not sure I'm actually ready to go. Like, more importantly, it's what you're talking about, Brooks. Of we got to make sure that whoever we have out there, like we got to keep a close eye on it. We got to make sure that it's holding up.
You can't let coming back from an injury to deteriorate your offensive efficiency, which obviously if you're not 100%, it could be that.
The other offensive line question is Juan Gaston's health. Played against Tennessee, and then I think got hurt again.
I'm not sure. I don't know that he ever went down. I don't think he finished the game.
Maybe he was a breaking case of glass.
I think that's what we talked about in the press box of that's what we felt like it was.
Right, yeah.
Of if we feel like we have to play him, we will. And then I guess they felt like with Donnie Glover, they thought they were okay.
I'm going to shoot a text as we speak.
Which to the point of like, I know we've asked this question before, but why wouldn't you? And this may not. And I'm sure this is something they have attempted or certainly went over in the bye week. And like maybe this isn't the game that you tried out, but why wouldn't you try Juan Gaston at right tackle and Donnie Glover at right guard? Like, why wouldn't you try that? In my opinion.
I mean, see how it works for a few. Like, well. And again, I don't think that obviously worst case scenario is something catastrophic happens in one play and it results in a turnover or something like that. But
bro, he's your best right tackle.
That's what I'm saying.
I think, and I haven't even seen him play it. And I think he's your best right tackle. We thought he was a top 10 football player 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Man.
He's been on the radar for a while.
You don't seem like that very often.
No. The literal only question was, is he going to try hard when he gets there?
Right. Yeah.
Because if he does, holy hell. And he's trying hard. And he's trying hard. He is a great football player.
Was that text you sent to Andrew Smart?
No.
He was right.
He's given the injury report.
He was right. He's 1 for 1.
He's 1 for 1 on injury reports.
He's batting 1,000.
Probably never going to give one again, but...
Yeah, he's not getting another AB at all. He's not getting another at bat on the opportunities to be right on that one at all.
Does he look like Homer Simpson and Bart?
Yeah.
I will not release injury
He keeps
news.
photobombing his dad every time I try to take photos of his dad coming into the stadium.
Like a true son.
We got to chill out on that one, man. I'm trying to take flicks to the head, man.
He's getting lanky, dude.
He's a very big kid. Yeah, he's getting tall.
Like I remember like 2 years ago, there was like, oh, little Andrew Smart. Now it's like, kid's big.
Yeah, he's taller than you.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he over 6 feet?
Can't relate.
He's 5'11".
Okay, then he's as tall as me.
Okay. But no. What were we talking about?
We were just kind of hitting up on the injury news heading into this game.
Yeah, general availability. Let's get into these Bama offensive notes. Took a look at that Bama offense, gave you a what to expect film study. We broke that down. You should watch it. I told you I'm about to give you the synopsis of it. I'm not. I'm going to make you go watch it. You should go watch that. Right now, I'm going to break down what I actually saw on the defensive side of the football that we're going to bring you tomorrow on this network. We've got a what to expect from that Bama defense coming out tomorrow. Jonathan and I are going to record it in the morning. Here's what you're going to see. Like I said in the film or the presser notes, they are doing a much better job disguising and being multiple on the defensive side of the football. Last year against Vanderbilt, last year against Georgia, last year against a lot of teams that picked them apart in critical situations, they were a cover one robber football team. That's basically what they played most of the critical downs. When I turned it on today against Wisconsin alone, I saw a little bit of Tampa 2. I saw some cover 3. I saw some cover 1 robber. I saw some split safety coverage. We're playing this over here against 3-by-1s. They are trying to be a lot more multiple on the defensive side of the football, and they're doing a better job of disguising things. Here is my problem, though, and I tweeted about this today, and I think it's going to rear its head as long as Kane Womack is there. I, for the life of me, don't understand why he continues to be a cover one robber pressure team every single time they're in 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 9. Every single time this defense earns their right into a 3rd and medium or a 3rd and long, not a 3rd and 20, not a 3rd and 18. I'm talking about a 3rd and 5 to a 3rd and 12. It's almost 100% chance you're going to get cover one robber again, and he's getting picked apart. I watched him get beat 3 times on 3rd and long against Wisconsin in the first 35 snaps of that football game. His defense earns every single time, earns the right through multiple mixed match coverages, multiple disguises, all for him to get in 3rd and 9, show the world that he's playing man-to-man coverage, and then get picked apart and have the offense pick up the first down, leave his defense out there on the field. I don't get it, because when he plays a bunch of zone coverage, he's so well disguised. His defense brackets so well. They cover everything so well that guess what? They get home. They have defensive pass rushers that can get home. They don't need help. You don't have to add bodies to the box to get home, yet he continues to do it, and they continue to get shredded. It baffles me. It makes me really, really not concerned for this matchup for them, but concerned for the defense in general, because they constantly get hit with explosives. They constantly get, teams extending drives because they're kind of predictable in these critical situations.
Do you think that seeing what Gunnar Stockton and that Tennessee defense put on tape?
Patreon nug coming up right after the show. Love to see it. Patreon.com/Brooks Austin. Shameless plug. Worth the pub sub. Run over there. Don't let me forget that one.
But no, what I was asking is, do you think that given what you saw from Tennessee's defense, where Gunnar Stockton essentially won that game because they refused to get out of man, is that going to be something that forces Kane Womack to maybe run some more zone on these 3rd downs? Especially given their history as well. You lost to Vanderbilt last year because of it.
And Georgia's personnel. I don't think anybody should be a man-to-man football team against Georgia this year.
No.
Because unless you have 3 NFL corners or NFL defensive backs, I don't know if you're going to stay in front of people. Somebody's going to get beat. That's what we have seen so far this season. So there is that going on. They have elite box personnel. Players that I think are playing good ball right about now. Quay Rousseau. Now, I love Quay Rousseau, the edge rusher. I love Quay Rousseau, the box player. I do not, for the life of me, understand why they keep dropping this guy into coverage. And somebody's going to attack him. He does not look comfortable. And I understand we're doing it to break tendencies. I understand we're doing it because he's an outside linebacker. I understand we're doing it because we're doing it. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look comfortable. It doesn't look natural. It looks like he put on weight this offseason to be a good line of scrimmage player, and it has hurt him in the pass department, and they keep asking him to do it. I would attack him in it. That being said, when he's in the box, when he's lined up as a rusher, he is scary. He is going to get home on Saturday at one point. Let's just hope he doesn't create a sack, all right, if you're Georgia's offensive staff. LT Overton's a great football player. There's no doubt about this.
Yeah.
James Smith, number 23, is a disruptive football player. they still haven't figured out how to get him to play a little less unhinged, because he is way too over his toes. He's way too out in front. He runs by plays. He runs by TFLs. He runs by sacks. They've got to learn how to pull him back just a little bit and allow him to continue to still be the twitchy player that he is. Find that happy ground right there somehow, some way. Deontay Lawson's getting much healthier. I don't see the big, massive, bulky knee brace anymore on tape, so that's good there for Alabama's futures, because they're asking those linebackers to do a whole bunch of stuff. They ask those linebackers to stand in A gap and hold offensive guards. Then they ask them to stand in A gap and then jump back at the snap and cover C gap while we're darting the defensive end, and then stand in A gap and then go cover the flat. They're asking that linebacker to do a lot of stuff out there, and it was worrisome week one. It's gotten a little bit better because he's gotten a little bit more healthy and confident in that knee. Number 3, who is, I think, Keon Saab, the transfer from Michigan.
Yeah.
Number 18, who is Bray Hubbard. And number 2, who is Xavion Brown. They're playing really good football right now. Really, really good football. That being said, I think Wisconsin's one of the worst Power 4 football teams in college football right about now. So I don't know how much I'm taking into account to this. But that being said, guys, it was clear to me what Wisconsin's offensive game plan was. They ain't prepared. We're going to line up. We're going to play as fast as we can. We're going to flip-flop personnel. We're going to get these guys misaligned. We're going to have these guys late to get the calls in, and we're going to try to smack them in the mouth. And they would have. They would have been able to do it. Wisconsin's just bad. Wisconsin had them misaligned, guys, probably 8 to 10 times in the first 3 quarters of this football game.
Whoa.
Yeah, where we've got Alabama, we got 8 Alabama defenders on the left side of the ball. They're running toss sweep to the right because we've got them so misaligned, and we're just bad. So we can't actually make them pay for their bad processes. I think it's going to be a different case in this football game. I've seen what Bobo can do with these types of overloaded formations, or hiding tight ends, or giving you a new run fit to, a new run scheme to fit for the first time that week. I could see some creasable big hitters in the Georgia run game this weekend because of it. I'd pace and personnel them to death. I would sudden pace them. It's 2nd and 2, back on the ball immediately. We're going to get them missing line. Dwight Phillips, bang. I would try to do something along those lines. That's my defensive film notes. We got that film study coming up tomorrow.
So if you had to choose, which unit do you feel more confident in right now?
From Alabama?
Yeah.
I think their offense is scary. I think their offense might come over here and throw for 400 yards if you're not careful good.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like they're legit in the passing department offensively. Okay? They're back to doing Washington passing schemes. They actually have a real passable quarterback, and they've got 3 weapons that you should be scared of.
Is this a team that you can Tennessee your way, where you just load up on stopping the pass, keep the boxes light?
Yeah, with the way they've been the inability for them to run the football, yes. You can dedicate more bodies to the pass and play light boxes and stop the run so far against these guys. But they haven't done it without Jam Miller, or with Jam Miller. So I think they think the people that I talk to at Georgia respect Jam Miller. They think it is going to be a different running game from Alabama than what they just saw.
Yeah. I think that Georgia's been able to stop Alabama's running backs. I say that because they haven't been able to stop the run in totality over the last couple of matchups because of who Jalen Milroe is. But I think that certainly plays into maybe why you've allowed so many explosives to Alabama in the passing game. This is just me kind of like creating a thought on the fly right now of, you're having to respect what Jalen Milroe could do with his legs so much. I think it kind of made you susceptible to some of the deep balls that you've got by over the years in Alabama's offense. But that doesn't really matter in this one because, Ty Simpson is playing well and the receivers are really good this year. And he's putting it in the right spot, so that might not even matter anyways, but just kind of a thought I had.
It's going to be interesting to see just how much Jalen Milroe affected the last 2 outcomes of those games. Obviously, because Alabama's had offensive success, mostly because of what Jalen Milroe was able to do with his legs and when he needed to through the air. So with him not being there and that extra threat being taken away, it'd be very interesting to see.
All right, let's get into it. What worries you about this matchup? Let's start on the offensive side of the football for Georgia. I think Alabama's general mass, okay, the general size of the dudes in the box for Alabama would create some type of concern for whether or not they can actually stand up and stop the run, which I think they can. I mean, there's still Alabama in that box. I think they still have really, really big physical football players that can stand up any given Saturday against a great run unit from Georgia.
Yeah, I think the one thing that worries me most is that Gunnar Stockton's probably going to get some zone looks at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have made an emphasis, Cade Womack's defense has, to institute that much more. It's something that we've seen him somewhat struggle against at times this season and last season. So I would imagine that they have also watched that tape on him, and they're probably going to give him some more zone looks. That kind of worries me.
They disguise it really, really well, too. When they're playing zone, you'll see tomorrow on film study. When they're in zone, you don't know what zone they're really in until post-snap. So we got to confirm coverage after the snap, which Gunner's been good about his eyes. He has taken his eyes to the right spots against zone coverage. He just hasn't confidently pulled the trigger just yet. He did some against Tennessee, but most of the big-time throws in that football game from Gunner came against man-to-man coverage.
Very true.
So we'll have to see what it ultimately looks like against a zone coverage football team. I worry about Quay Rousseau on passing downs. We talked about it in the film notes. I think he's a really, really good rusher. I think they've got rushers that are really good speed rushers. I think his number's 42. They line him up at a wide 9 and let him run past, all right, tackles. They try to at least. And I think they've got a good power rusher in LT Overton, okay? He's like an equate version of Ruben Bain, honestly. He's 6'4", 285 pounds, plays really, really good as a pass rusher, but doesn't quite have that bend and total athleticism that Ruben has. But he's going to be a top 45 pick this year in the NFL draft, and he's really, really good at getting home with bull rushes and power rushes. And then they have Quay Rousseau, who's kind of both. Quay Rousseau can run through your chest and bend around you. So I'm worried about 4 if I'm this offensive staff from Georgia.
Yeah, I would just say that, and this is maybe something that kind of gets created, or not created, but said by me for the next few weeks, just because the potential for a game to happen where maybe your run game isn't going like you want it to, that would concern you, just because that's not the type of offense that you want to play. Of you're having to really rely on the passing attack. Now, Gunnar Stockton had a great day against Tennessee, but you weren't having to rely on the passing attack. You were running the ball at will at times. I mean, you went on a 13-play drive, 12 run plays for a touchdown at one point in that football game. So, and I think Tennessee's defensive line is good. I think they got good football players up front defensively, so maybe that won't be an issue too much for you. I think that you are creative enough in the run game, and I think that you have good enough backs and multiple backs to where you can create positive plays in the run game. But just the potential of that happening, or maybe like where it stalls out for maybe 2 quarters and you're kind of stuck offensively trying to figure some things out, that would just be something that kind of concerns me a little bit going into an SEC matchup like this against a team like Alabama.
Yeah, another one that I have is, and this is somewhat of a no-duh answer, but turnovers. Because here's why. Obviously, turnovers are bad for any offense. They hinder your ability to score points. My worry for the offensive side of the ball here is if you turn the ball over on a first drive or a second drive when the game's close, how quickly does the energy get sapped out of Sanford Stadium? Because we've talked about before, we saw it with Tennessee fans, there is some mental block about playing these teams that you have not beaten in a long time, where if the first thing goes wrong, it's, here we go again. Here we go again. We're going to throw our hands up and all of that. I don't know if that's going to happen. I hope it doesn't. I hope that this Georgia crowd is ready and goes up to the challenge. But the first time, let someone have a fumble or let Gunnar Stockton throw his first interception of the season or something like that. How quickly does this crowd lose that energy, and how quickly does the team feel that? That's something that worries me on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm trying to think of just other things that this Alabama defense creates problems with. I do think the linebackers are really, really experienced, right? Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson hasn't been starting for a long time, but I've always felt like he puts good stuff on tape. So maybe you don't have as much play action ability because they're not sucking up to the run as much. Maybe they got good instincts. It's their 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th time playing Georgia and preparing for this style of offense. So there could be some continuity and comfort there from those guys on the defensive side of the football. All right, what scares you for Georgia's defense, guys?
allowing explosive plays again, giving up big time plays in the passing department again. Because especially when someone puts it on tape, it doesn't matter if that's not actually a weakness for you. Like maybe you actually just had a bad day, but the problem is that that's going to make teams more inclined to take more shots against you. This team did it, so we're going to at least take a few shots at it. And even if it is just a few shots, what you saw is if you hit 3 of them, you're in trouble. Like that's 3 times that you're going to get down in the scoring area for an offense, and more than likely probably going to put in the end zone. So that happening again.
I got a question for you guys. How many SEC rosters would Jeremy Bernard be the number 1 receiver for? Maybe like 13 of 16?
Yeah, 90%.
How many of those number 1s would Ryan Williams be on? Maybe like 15 of 16?
Yeah.
How many number 1 wide receivers, or how many rosters could Isaiah Horton be the number 1 wide receiver on?
Probably
like half of them?
Yeah. 8 or 9.
They got 3 super freaks at wide receiver that in their own right create problems. Okay, and 2 of them before we even get to somebody who we think is the most dynamic football player in college football with the ball in his hand. That is my biggest concern.
Yeah.
You talk about explosive plays. It's not just that y'all put some stuff on tape last week at the defensive back room that makes you seem vulnerable and attackable, but it's that these guys got 3 better dudes than what Tennessee. Brazel would be a great football player at Alabama, but these 3 football players would be great at Tennessee too. These 3 guys are legit at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. And I think this goes into my next worry of not being able to wreak havoc in the passing game. Because look, we haven't necessarily seen them do it yet. We know that they're possible. We know that they're capable of it. But if Ty Simpson has 4 or 5 seconds of pass to stand back there and dial up this Georgia defense, that's going to happen anywhere. And it's not just because the defense is bad, but... Not
that we're in the confidence game right here during this segment, but that's what I'm confident about if I'm a Georgia defensive player right now. We're going to get home.
You think so?
I think you're going to get home on this offensive line unit. This offensive line from Alabama, apart from Parker Brailsford, looks 15 to 20 pounds overweight. All of them. I think Caden Proctor is very gettable at edge. He's not run throughable. He's really, really good in the run game right about now, but he is very suspect in the pass department. So I would feel confident about that. And I said this earlier, and I want to reiterate it here. What scares me most about this Alabama football team, the biggest worry I have for Georgia going to this game, is that Ty Simpson very well could come into Athens Saturday and throw for 400 yards.
That was another one I have. Ty Simpson being way better than advertised.
I do want to just simmer this a little bit, though. Like, Alabama is very talented on offense, but it's the last 2 opponents that we're basing this off of.
Right.
So, and this is not me degrading Alabama's offense. Alabama fans, do not jump on me for saying this. They're playing really good and you got confidence, but I think we just need to take a little bit of a step back, because like if this was Georgia, like through the first 2 weeks, like I think that we all had we were cautious about what this offense would be until they went on the road and played against Tennessee. And once that happened, once you proved it, it was like, okay, now we can really talk about you this way. And you had one legitimate opponent week 1, and there was a lot of things going on, I'm sure. Like I know the weather wasn't ideal, and I know that you didn't play your best game at that time, but it was also like, it's Wisconsin and it was UL Monroe.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 teams. Like really talented offense. But I'm just not jumping on board of saying they could potentially throw for 400 yards. I'm not seeing that yet.
I'm telling you, I think that's the only way they find a way to win. I don't think they're going to run the football well enough to put up 500 yards of total offense, which I think is going to be required to win this football game. They will not put up 500 yards of total offense unless Ty Simpson throws for 400 yards, in my opinion.
I got you.
Yeah, that's my recipe for them actually finding a way to win in this football game.
I got you.
In my mind's eye.
Yeah, I do think there's an avenue where Ty Simpson is a lot better than advertised. He makes the plays that we don't necessarily think. And again, the competition has not been great. There's been a lot to talk about from the aspect of, okay, you did this against 2 tomato cans when you were quote unquote pissed off and embarrassed. Let's see you do it against an actual Power 4 team that has a pulse like Florida State did. So, and that's the other issue that I think coming into this game is that the sample size is still so small. This isn't an SEC championship matchup or a college football playoff matchup where we've seen a full body of work between these 2 programs and we can say, okay, I understand that this is what the kind of identity they have is, and this is who this player is, and this is what their tendencies are. They've both played 3 games each. That's not enough, and it's been 2 of the 3 games have been against teams that you didn't really have to strain, you didn't really have to stress. So It's going to be interesting. I do think that there's an avenue to throw for 400. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
This is just me being a weird football guy.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Alabama's coaching staff deciding to give their players Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off last week?
Huh?
Oh, you didn't know about it?
You didn't know this?
I didn't know it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Alabama practiced twice last week. Alabama gave their players all Sunday, did not practice Monday, did not practice Tuesday, did not practice Wednesday.
I know what my biggest talking point will be if Georgia wins this game. That'd be one of my bigger talking points.
I mean,
I can guarantee you right now, if Kirby Smart knows that, he's using that. I guarantee you in the middle of it might not be his halftime speech, but it would be mine. If we were in a one-score football game at half, my football players would know that these sumbitches got 3 days off last week.
Didn't take you serious.
That's what they thought of you. That's what they thought of you. They took Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off before coming to this place.
That is unbelievable.
That'll go into good for this next statistic I have to give us when we do our next segment.
They got to be lying. No, they're not. It's on social media. Your media team tweeted it out. Check it out. Your beat reporters on Friday were tweeting out photos of practice saying practice number 2 this week for Alabama.
Man. I don't even know what to say to that.
They're pissed off, though.
Yeah, that's oh man.
Now,
hey,
probably banged up football team that needed some breaks.
You better hope Kalen DeBoer doesn't come out in that black hoodie. Have you seen this now?
The black hoodie trend?
Yeah, where it's like, if
he's a menace in black hoodies, huh?
Yeah, it's like...
I remember last year they were saying they couldn't win football games because he was wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year it was put a collared shirt on, you bum.
Didn't look the part.
Put a collared shirt on, you bum. All right, let's get into the game predictions this time. It's time on a Monday, and I feel okay doing this because I got me a principal. But hey, the Alabama Crimson Tide coming to Athens this weekend for a nighttime football game in Sanford Stadium. Boys, what is the key to the matchup?
The number one key to this matchup, can Alabama match its offensive efficiency on the road? You know, we talk about how Ole Miss and the Lane Kiffin offense doesn't necessarily travel well. We've got a sample size of about 1.25 seasons of Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. Every single Kalen DeBoer loss with the Alabama Crimson Tide has come away from Tuscaloosa. 4 on the road, the 5th one against Michigan, obviously, in a bowl game, not in Tuscaloosa. His offense averages 44 points per game at home in his 1.5 or 1.25 seasons of Alabama. What would you like to guess they are scoring away from Tuscaloosa?
23.4 points per game.
That's actually almost spot on. 24.1 points per game on the road or away from Tuscaloosa. Can this offense survive in a Sanford Stadium environment with a crowd that hates this team, wants to beat them more than anything, and hasn't seen them in 10 years? That's going to be the biggest key to this matchup.
Had some false starts down there at Florida State. There's no doubt about it.
I put a few keys on here. Number one, don't let Ryan Williams make the play. And I'm not just saying this because he made the play against Georgia last year, but he does this. Like, this is kind of his thing of, like, he just makes the play in the game, and it either gets the offense rolling or it kind of puts Bama in the position to go out and outright win this game. And number two, I have pass rush has to get home, and Simpson has to get put on the ground. As Chat has been mentioning, our Alabama fans that are in here tonight, he's not Jalen Miller, obviously, but he is athletic enough to where
slippery.
Slippery. That's a great adjective for him. He's good enough. He's athletic enough to where he can't escape out of the pocket and either do damage downfield or pick up some yards. So you got to get him on the ground. Right side of the offensive line for Georgia. Got to hold up. Got to be strong in this game. And number four, avoid the blow up first quarter.
4 keys.
4 keys.
4 keys.
Avoid the blow up first quarter.
He's got a whole janitor ring on his waist right now.
You can hear him from a mile away.
But no, these are all good keys, Jim.
Were you a lanyard guy?
Still am.
I still am, dude.
Were you a spin the lanyard on your finger?
Of course.
Guy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, got to. I feel like I put my lanyard away when I put my childish things away. But maybe I wouldn't lose my keys as much if they were tied to a lanyard.
Yeah, that's my whole thing is, like, the lanyard just helps with a lot.
My keys to the matchup, you mentioned it. Can Georgia avoid the explosives? All right. Can they defensively, can they keep things in front? And against this Alabama unit, right? Jeremy's great after the catch. Isaiah Horton's really hard to bring down. Ryan Williams is really, really hard to bring down. So it's not just about denying the ball. It's about when they inevitably catch it, we got to get that sucker on the ground. And I do think, guys, Bama has a slight advantage advantage in this category. I know Georgia's been a really, really good tackling team as of late, but I really do believe Ryan Williams is a special football player with a ball in his hands, and Jeremy's done some really, really physical things after the catch as well. My X factor in this football game is very, very obvious. You mentioned it. Got to get home. Got to get Ty Simpson on the ground. I think the football player best suited to do so this weekend is Chris Cole. I think Chris Cole is going to have maybe a 2.5, 3 sack breakout type of performance in this football game. Cole versus Proctor should feed families in this football game.
It's going to be a very exciting matchup to watch, and I think that is one of the good X factors to have. I have the cornerback who is ever opposite from Dalen Everett. We have seen that Dalen Everett has established himself as the guy on this defense. He still gets passes thrown his way sometimes. It doesn't shut the field completely down, but it is very evident that when number 6 is on the field, the offense factors around what the other corner is, who that is. They pick on that, whether it is Ellis Robinson, whether it is Daniel Harris, whether it's whoever else they put out there. That is the focal point of what the offense attacks.
That's a long point lineage in this program, too.
Yeah.
It goes way back, like when who is it? My man that got kicked out of the league for a craps game.
DeAndre Baker.
Yeah, DeAndre Baker. They attacked the other corner. It was Stokes or whoever it was, and then Stokes became the guy. They attacked the other corner. I think it was
Malcolm Parrish.
Yeah, and then Stokes became the guy. They attacked Tyson Campbell, and then Tyson Campbell became the guy. They started attacking DJ Daniel, and then it's just they've always had one lockdown corner. Let's go get the other one. Hopefully the other one grows up a lot faster than it has historically been.
Correct.
Right? I think the only time that other corner was when Keely Ringo and Kamari were the two corners.
Yeah, that was.
And they're like, let's stay away from 5. Oh, no. We need to stay away from 3. It hasn't happened like that in a long time.
No, it hasn't. And I think that, I don't know if necessarily this will be the game where it does happen, but you were in position to make some plays last week, and obviously Tennessee made those plays and scored 21 points like that as a result of it. You can't have the same thing happen this go around. So that is going to be one of the X factors in this, because all of the other things are going to be extremely important. But at the end of the day, you can shut Bama's offense down for 3 quarters, and they can have 3 really good plays and still come away with this with 21 points.
Yeah, and I think kind of going back to the defensive back discussion, I think that you're talking about maybe it happens quicker than it has in previous years. Maybe you start seeing that with Daniel Harris, because let's not forget that this guy started for Georgia in the back half of the season. So still a relatively young player as far as like experience goes. And I thought that he didn't really play horribly against Tennessee. I thought that, again, like you were kind of mentioning, Kirby, I thought he was in phase for that one deep pass that he gave up. He just didn't ultimately make the play. Like, I think maybe you'll start seeing him pick up on it a little bit, and maybe he becomes your guy over there. But you got some names that you can keep rotating, and maybe you can just find a hot hand for the day. I don't know.
Unless it doesn't happen, Kirby, what do you got for me?
I don't like doing this one this week because it feels like this is the most clippable time we could get in this, especially with all of the Alabama fans in this chat and all of the people that are raring to go and chomp at the bit of being wrong. But I'm going to say this. I think this is a game that Georgia has been waiting for a long time. Georgia fans have been waiting for a long time. I think that this is an Alabama team that doesn't necessarily do well on the road, hasn't necessarily gotten off to hot starts on the road. I'm going to say this now. Unless it doesn't happen, Georgia will never trail in this football game. Ooh. They lead from first touchdown, wire to wire. It's Georgia's game. Heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Just dogs dominance for 60 minutes, huh?
Not dogs dominance, but it's never like, ooh, Georgia's going to have to play from behind here.
I don't
think Alabama gets smoked in this game, but I think Georgia holds a lead the entire way through.
My unless it doesn't happen is, you want to talk about how maybe Alabama's offensive line has some weak spots. So when Georgia has a guy that takes no wasted steps and can get home very, very quickly, like a guy like Chris Cole, that makes me want to say this one. Chris Cole, 3.5 sacks on Saturday against Alabama. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
That's a lot of sacks.
It's unless it doesn't happen, baby. Go big or go home.
I like it. Georgia has 4 30-plus yard explosive runs in this football game.
Wow, 120 off of 4 carries?
The amount of times on tape I have seen Alabama misaligned and misgapped and two-stack gapping, I'm telling you right now, very creasable in the run game. Lil Nut explodes. 3 explosive 30-yard runs from him and 1 from Nate. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
So, dang, Dwight Phillips is getting 100 yards a game this then.
Yeah, 3 totes for 90 yards.
Perfect time. Just added them to the fantasy squad. Come on, baby.
Oh, no.
Come on, baby. Give it to me.
Can I get some? How many touchdowns does Nate Frazier have?
Well, one of those is going to run right into the box, so give me that one.
That's fair.
It's prediction time. Lock in. I know you don't want to do it.
Not this
Go ahead,
early, man.
Come on. It's
Monday predictions,
Give it to me.
man.
Monday predictions. Let's go. Come on. Sack up.
Oh, you want me to go? I have to go first?
I'm going last.
I've said it before all week long, all leading up to this, all off season, of how if you're going to get them, it's this time. And Georgia has, for a long time, for 15 years, this team has been the bane of your existence. They've stopped you from winning SEC championships. They've stopped you from going to the playoffs. They've stopped you from having undefeated regular seasons. They've stopped you from winning national championships. It's all been there. We all know the history of this. We all know how much this Georgia team despises Alabama, how much there is a dark cloud that is crimson color that hangs over this program. And I think that is going to be brought into the stadium. Whether the players bring it in or not, 93,000 Georgia fans will be bringing that idea in there. And they are sick and tired of being pushed around and scared and all of the things that come with playing Alabama. I think Georgia takes control of this game. I think that this crowd plays a major factor in it. I think that Kirby Smart and his team is built perfectly to stop a Kalen DeBoer style team. This is not the Nick Saban teams we've seen, that it's, the two matchups that go perfectly hand in hand with each other. I trust Kirby Smart in this situation. I trust the Georgia Bulldogs. Give me Georgia 35-27.
Man, you and me kind of right there with one another. Man, I like you. What is it? 33 wins in a row at home. Is that what the streak is? That doesn't happen.
Since my wedding day.
Doesn't happen by just occurring. It's not just it happens for a reason. You build that type of streak because it matters when you come to Sanford Stadium, because it's hard to play at Sanford Stadium, whether it be the players on the football field or what the fans have created in that environment. I think this matters. The fact that Kirby Smart, for the first time in his head coaching career, gets Alabama at home, something he hasn't got for the 10 years that he's been at Georgia. He gets this one for the first time ever. Georgia fans have been waiting on this one since 2015. I think everything just points to this one mattering so much to this football program, to this head coach, to these fans, to these players specifically. I think that it just builds up. It's like this perfect, this is the end of it. This is what it feels like to me. As you mentioned, Kirby, if it's not now, then whenever. If you don't win this one, I'll join Team Brooks. I'll never pick Georgia to ever win one of these games again. But I just think that Georgia has things going, and I think you found out all the right answers about your football team against Tennessee. You got those boys battle tested. You got some confidence in Gunnar Stockton. You found out that your run game can work when you want it to. You found out that your weapons on the outside are going to make plays. They're going to step up for you. And you found out that your defense is going to respond for you. Despite the fact that you gave up 41 points, your defense held them scoreless for a large stretch of that football game. They'll respond in moments where you need them to. I just like Georgia in this game. I think that they have the matchups that is necessary for this one, and I like the head coach in this one as well. So I have Georgia 34, Alabama 27.
Oh, same note, Joe. 1 point.
I'm an until it happens predictor, boys. It's what I am.
Understandable.
I picked this game 18 months ago, and I'm riding it out, and I'm going to go with it. I don't feel good about it at all. Nothing in my analysis makes me believe that Alabama is going to win this football game, but I'm picking them anyways. Alabama will win this football game 31-28, and it's okay. You can hate me. You can bring me all the smoke you want because I can take it. I'm strong enough to do it. I am the villain you need right now. I will be that. Alabama wins this football game 31-28.
Close football games, of course. Wouldn't expect anything less.
He's just waiting for the hate to come into the chat.
Unsubscribing. There you go. Man. I think that, you joke about it, or you don't joke about it. Sorry, you're not joking about this. I know you're being serious. I think that there's a lot. I think there's a lot of Georgia fans
said.
that feel that sentiment, though. Like, I know Georgia fans that have said the same thing of like, I'm just not even going to think that we're going to win this game until they prove me otherwise, because it has become that type of thing. It's the same thing that Georgia Tennessee has kind of become of. Even if Tennessee does have the best offense in the country, it's just one of those things where one team has outmatched the other for some reason, and they always seem to find a way to pull out the win. That's kind of what this game has been. I just think that, like, the only difference in this one is, again, like, you can say that this being in Athens doesn't matter or anything like that. I think it really does. I think that this is so unique to this matchup. And, of course, like Kirby's stats of an offense of Kalen DeBoer playing on the road versus playing at home, I think that certainly plays into this game as well.
Jake Massey says, bet you 10 minutes in the helmet. You know what? I'm so confident the Crimson Tide's winning this football game. I'll take you on that bet. 10 minutes in that there shorter helmet, football helmet, and we'll do a whole segment in it if I'm wrong, which I won't be. Alabama's going to win.
Wow, he doubled down. That's a double down. That might be the biggest double down. Well, now we only have to wait 5 days for the game. I'm so glad we made these predictions.
Yeah, so glad we got in on this algorithm real early.
We still have to rate the predictions, Kirby.
We have 3 more shows to do before that. I'm so happy. Good thing we made those predictions.
Man.
All right,
that's what we need to do from now on.
What?
Just get the slate.
Stand here and stare at each other for 60 minutes on Wednesday?
Get the slate in the offseason. We go, all right, we're going to do all 12 of these games. Predict them all in the offseason. Just fill them in. They were like, all right, we did our work for that part.
The national championship just happened, and we're here to predict Georgia versus Georgia Tech in late November. Here we go. The transfer portal hasn't happened. We don't even know what the rosters look like, but by God, we got to get in front of the algorithm. And we're going to do it right now here in January.
Yeah. You laugh, but we're like one algorithm switch away from having to do some stuff like that.
No, for real.
We got some super chubs to address. Ethan Story says, hey, Brooks, we got to put him on the board. Hey, Brooks, my buddy and I are flying from Indiana down to Athens Friday morning for the game this weekend. Haven't been in Athens since the Notre Dame game in 2019. Wondering where to go for the best game day experience on Saturday. Thoughts, boys?
Oh, like not going in the stadium?
You're not going in.
No, I think he's going to the game. I think he just wants to give the whole rundown. What should he be doing? It's a 7:30 game, guys. He's got plenty of time.
It's a night kick, so here's what you're going to do. I don't know what type of beverages you partake in or if you do that at all or how old you are. If you're of the legal drinking age and you do that, I recommend getting up 9 a.m. to 10, get some breakfast somewhere. Doesn't really matter. Everywhere is going to be packed. No sense in waiting. Some good breakfast. You need a lot of carbs in your system for what you're about to do to your body. 12 p.m. when the noon slate begins, go over and head over to Paloma Park. They've got a bunch of TV screens.
Good food.
Big projector outside watching. Drinks are good as well. They also serve food there. Do that until however long you want to go. I would say from about 5 to 6, start filing into other bars, maybe hitting up your final pregame, bouncing around to some tailgates. That's probably the best way to go. 6 p.m., be in the stadium, be ready, be loud. Have some shooters, whether it's waistbands or if you're a boots guy, that's a person. Or if there's a certain place that you like to keep things and smuggle them in, that's completely up to you. That's what I recommend. That's the game day experience that I would go for.
I like it.
Ethan Story added to the board. Shout out to Ethan. Get a lot of questions about meeting the boys. All right, can we see the boys? Where do I go to meet the boys? One of the boys, who's going this weekend?
I am.
You'll be in the box all game until 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then you'll be on the sideline.
Correct.
We're going to really test your theory this weekend. I hope you know that.
Oh, yeah.
This will be the ultimate test.
Oh, that's right. J. Will's a curse, right?
I claim no.
So he claims.
He claims that I am.
So if Georgia loses this weekend, we know it's him.
It's just there's no moot point.
It's not us.
Yeah. But I was at the Alabama game last year and they lost. All right. And apparently, even though Georgia won the SEC championship game, the fact that Carson Beck got hurt, I'm still cursed because of that. So, just saying, even though Kirby went to the Sugar Bowl, I'm the one that cursed the program.
We know.
Whoa.
Let's be honest.
Whoa.
Brooks cursed that trip.
Yeah, pretty big time. The most historical example of the Brooks Austin curse ever created in human mankind.
All I'm going to say is J-Will went to 4 games.
I was at the Ole Miss game. I was at the Alabama game.
Kentucky, Georgia Tech, Alabama,
Look,
Tennessee.
Man, I just got to see some really cool football games. All right,
all for it. But I'm just saying, might have a curse on our hands.
All right. Well, we're going to find out this weekend. I will not be in attendance. If you are worried about the J-Will curse, I won't be there.
Got a lot of curses of an opportunity to get broken this weekend. Hey, we appreciate you guys for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. Got film study coming tomorrow morning here on the network as well. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on our way out. I love you. Goodbye.